make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! It's gone. Yeah.
Man, that shit smell good as hell, dog. I'm Jamal.
Peace, Silas. So you trying to get something to bring them nerves down too, huh, bro?
Yeah, I figured if I study high, take the test high, get high scores. Right?
Right.
Right.
Let's get dangerous.
I'm a professional. Look it up in the book.
Okay.
That's what we do. We're pros. We're never rude. We don't camp out. We don't tell you that we're ill or that we're looking for the farmhouse in the middle of the desert or that we're parched. We don't tell you that maybe the check didn't come through this month, and where the hell does it go anyway if you're a guy who's left 16 forwarding addresses.
Let's see who's in the verses. Let's see who's in the verses. Blast Mojo in the verses. Gutter Mofo in the verses. Blast Mojo in the verses, feeling hot, hot, hot. Gutter Mofo feeling hot, hot, hot. Hazy Half Moon feeling hot, hot, hot. Tyrus 4191 hot, hot. Hazy Half Moon, are you goat or fish? Feeling hot, hot, hot in the verses. Zazzy Laws, Celebration. Twerking Shark Fish. Krug's in the verses. Hot, hot, hot.
Welcome to the Stay Lifted
There's
studio.
no audio coming through. Oh, we don't have the microphone on the screen.
Wow.
Pros, total pros. 10 seconds
I'm
in.
a pro. That's what pros do. I'm a professional. Look it up in the book.
Hi, and welcome to the Stay Lifted studios. This evening we're here to talk about TV shows in DC and the new slate that they've got going on. I'm joined by, well, I'd normally call him my friend and cohort, but since he can't even help me produce the fucking show, here's Zach. How you doing tonight?
Rusty, Gutter, Scotty, how's it going, guys?
Bongo Time.
Bongo Time.
Welcome.
Welcome in. I'm doing horrible. Project Zomboid keeps killing me without giving me a chance. I'm so done with that game. I'm sorry, Gutter.
At the moment,
Never play it again. Ever.
At the moment, I relate
Just
to the
kidding.
game.
You relate?
Yeah. Sorry, that joke exceeds the before we started streaming tonight. Like 3 streams in a row now, we've had to fix something right before we start that I find to be innocuous and don't need. Like our Stream Deck, one button's not working. Zach's like, oh, we just have to restart. So like right up until we hit live, my computer was at like full tilt. We couldn't get it to slow down. So
You say that
it's all
we
your
can
fault.
deal without it. It's the mute button. Like, we need the mute. We need the mute button.
They want us to they want us to talk more often, not less.
If they knew us off camera, they'd never come back. That's why we need the mute button, because you know.
And that's how he got into office.
Yeah. Best president ever.
Yes. It's just so too bad that their term was so short and so many years ago. I'm talking about Abraham Lincoln. Who are you talking about?
James Buchanan.
Mime stream when?
Does anyone like mimes? People say that. I'm like, I kind of like them. When you see a really good one,
Where have you seen a really good mime?
on like America's Got Talent
Oh,
or
okay,
X
I'm like,
Factor or something.
Are you walking around in Newmarket and there's like a fucking mime on the side of the street? Like, I don't think that type of street performer is any longer.
You could see him in downtown Toronto, I think. You could probably find one.
I have done both a lot of drugs and drinking in Toronto, and I have never once seen a mime. In fact, in person, my entire life, I don't think I've ever been in person with a mime before.
I feel like I have seen, like, not at the mall.
Hey, listen,
or
this is on par with quicksand and stop, drop, and roll.
quicksand.
I literally thought I was going to be jumping over quicksand my whole life, and the rest of my life I was going to be rolling around. So
I
I'd be
was
on
very
fire.
worried about quicksand as a kid.
Yeah, and this is also, I thought I was prepared to have to deal with mimes more than I have.
Maybe it is only on TV you see
Yeah.
them.
It's kind of like, how many movies and TV shows do you remember having lattice and people climbing up it in film in the 80s and 90s?
All the time.
Didn't actually happen. This happens on Family Guy, and they kind of break it down a little. They're like, no, this didn't happen. It's just another one of these where...
As a kid, anytime I found a lattice thing, I'm like, you take a couple steps, you're like, this isn't going to support me.
Yeah.
These are very thin slats, and
Now, the lattice on
heavy-duty.
fence was different than the lattice that was attached to houses originally. One
With
was
the
made
vines
out
and
of
stuff.
proper
Yeah.
1x1s or 1x2s, but yeah, the lattice on your fence definitely is made out of thinner material, but neither would hold me.
A horror movie about a mime, that would be good. You could make a really creepy mime,
if I Google
There's probably-
mime horror movie,
but not like a
Google
big
will
budget
be like, that is, you're too dumb to make movies, retired. No, I'm joking. Mime
horror movie.
I'm gonna go with movie and see what happens.
Short horror film.
Yeah, because I figured the only way you'd make anything about a mime that was that, yeah. Short film called Mime in 2021. A full-length film in 2020 called Mime. They don't normally happen in that way. Normally it's like, hey, a short story.
The Mime, another horror movie.
Yeah, another short film. The Mime short. Yeah, so it seems there's 3 mime-based
go.
horror films.
Bongo Time for
More
Bongo.
so
Welcome
happy
in.
to see you.
The Mime and the Mime 2.
I mean,
There actually is a short horror film called
The Mime, and there's 4 horror movies. There's 2 short films, 3 short films, and 1 full length. The Mime 2, Mime, and Mime. God damn, that's fucked up. All right, so this week on Scotty Doesn't Know, we'll be playing 4 movies about mimes.
I guess we don't have to worry about the audio.
Why not? Why would everyone else in the movie be silent? Why would there not be sound in the trees? Why would there not still be stuff happening? Only
it's
the
about
mime
mimes.
is silent. Yeah, but only the mime is silent. In the world, like, the
I'm not
people
following.
around a mime aren't silent.
I'm not following you.
Why would it be a silent film?
Because it's about mime. I'm just
I'm not getting stuck in this circular logic with you.
Yeah, like the Terrifier. That was a recent clown movie.
Oh my god, I'm tired of
Actually,
hearing about
he's
that movie
silent.
for a reason.
He's silent. He's a mime. He doesn't talk in it. It doesn't make.
There's a
noise.
difference. This is talked about in a TV show, and Steve talks about it. But there are silent clowns, and then there's mimes. They are two different art forms. I fucking can't remember exactly why I know this, but they are.
I think they're part of the same genus, though.
Yes. Homo clownus.
Homo clownus.
Why did I just picture a rainbow clown?
That would be at that level. I think isn't that Kingdom when you get to that.
I don't know. That's what we were talking about in the car earlier. Is I always fuck up the progression of what goes from like we're human or what like
Kingdom, phylum, genus, or species. I'm getting it all wrong.
So that's what I mean. I
Species.
never remember what the order is. Now,
Do mimes go to clown college?
yes,
So they're a subspecies.
it's a clown college is just the joke name. It's performing arts school. I'm not kidding. Like this is actually tackling.
Why
a few
would the
shows.
clown college have a joke name? That doesn't sound.
But I
believable.
do hear that their public transportation is a little cramped. That felt like a dad joke. So,
Scotty liked it.
now that we've been talking about clowns for the first 10 minutes of our stream, which is awesome.
The Joker's a very talkative mime. I just realized.
He's a clown. He's literally called the Clown Prince of Gotham. I don't think you're gonna find a mime joke.
I
Although
feel like
he
this
does,
is-
he does mime work though. There's many times where he's done mime jokes like this and like done this stuff, but when he pull like, ooh,
So
But then
he
something actually
he
blows up.
identifies as a mime. Joker. Oh, you're saying that was you had joke of the night. Won't be beaten.
I heard the glugging. I'm like, hey, that sounds like ASMR.
Cheers.
Cheers as we drink toxic liquid.
At least it's not Coca-Cola. This is way better for me.
I have a confession.
Uh-oh. Did you bring Coke to the property?
My wife bought herself ginger ale and it was 2 bottles for like $3. So she bought a bottle of Diet Coke. And I'm like, oh, why'd you do that? I'm not going to drink that. And I didn't put it in the fridge. But then she did. And last night I'm like, oh, I forgot the water was empty. And I'm like, I'll fill the water. I'll come back down. When I came back down, I'm like, I'll have 1 glass of Coke while I'm having a snack.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's no more Diet Coke.
I hate Diet Coke anyway.
No, I'm just as bad as you when it comes to stuff, which is why I press you so hard to not drink it.
But then you get energy drinks for us.
You bought these.
You're not supposed to admit that.
But yes, and I've got to start working out for a movie this summer, and I'm like, fuck, I'm being lazy. Like, I'm at least 2 weeks behind schedule on a workout for a movie.
Oh, I'm like
doing.
3 years behind on a workout schedule.
Yeah, but I have a goal in mind for a film. Like, I'm prepping
I had
for
a goal
movie.
too. I just took a long hiatus.
Yes. But if you aren't ready by May, you won't look bad on film. I will.
If you've got a goal that you want
Yeah.
for the film.
I am playing in. I actually, what's really awesome, I don't have to cut hair, beard, none of this. Yeah, I actually have to keep it all because I'm supposed to be playing like a semi undercover. So like not undercover, but like you know how the detectives.
You're Donnie Brasco.
Yeah, sort of like more like mean detective. Like I'm wearing jeans and a black T-shirt and a button-up shirt, doing like with the hanging badge and the gun on my hip, like I'm the bad boy cop, I guess.
Are you Gordon's partner on Gotham? Harvey?
Okay, listen, I know I'm a little overweight, but why you gotta call me a fat piece of shit? He
I
is
loved him.
portrayed
He was
in the
my
first
favorite
season as like the
character.
grossest, fattest, worst, dirtiest human.
I think he
By
was
the
my
last
favorite
season,
character.
they clean him up a little bit, but like the first season, he's just that gross cop that spills food on himself and beats people up. Like, I feel like you just called me the most unkempt person you know.
I called you my favorite character from the show.
I still don't know how to take that. I'm a little insulted by the betrayal.
Yeah, all that stuff you listed, I'm like, that's not what I got. It's just he was like
smart,
messy,
smart and
stuff.
immoral.
He was a great cop, I thought.
So, the whole first 2 seasons, he's on the take. He's
And then
trying
he
to force
gets-
Gordon to not be on the take, and it's only Gordon's purity and refusal, and Gordon and that guy's refusal
In your
to murder.
youth, you were
Gordon.
like him, and then
Yes,
you
true.
became like his.
But the only reason that guy starts
redemption.
becoming better is because his only rule was he wouldn't kill another cop, and Gordon not being on board would have meant he would have had to kill Gordon. So I mean, yes, he's redeemed by the end, but he starts out as a pretty bad person.
I guess I forgot all that part. I always liked him.
Don't get me wrong, I love the character. I thought he was going to be dead by the end of the first
Me
season.
too.
I love that he made it right to the end and he survived the end of the show. And gave his life up like 4 times on the way. And he's one of the few characters that tried to die multiple times and didn't. Unlike the Penguin that just kept fucking dying.
Oh, that show was
And
the
Money.
worst.
Mooney?
Fish Mooney.
Fish Mooney.
The worst was when the guy who played,
Bongo Time.
who became Solomon Grundy. What was his name before that? Butch or
Yeah, Butch.
He died like 3 times, and then at some point, literally gets shot in the head. They show him lying there with the bullet hole.
And then he has to come back as Solomon
Oh,
Grundy.
he's fine.
No, but that's how Solomon Grundy becomes to life, is he gets murdered and gets brought back.
I didn't realize that was his origin story. I didn't know what
He's
he
kind
was.
of a Frankenstein.
I didn't know what he was.
So I mean but yes, he had already died once or twice before that. They're like one death becoming Solomon Grundy's kind of like because
Okay,
remember
that was
DC,
a bad example. Then there's like
Fish
7
Mooney's the best example because she dies twice and Penguin dies twice.
I feel he died more than that.
They retcon once that he didn't die, that he was let go.
And then
Remember?
the redhead
Because
Joker
that's
died.
how they try and make Gordon or not Gordon, how they try and make his partner better. By in like season 3, they retcon him. He didn't kill Penguin on the dock. He let him go.
I wanna
Remember?
Google-
Or something like that. I fucking don't remember now.
How many fake deaths were on Gotham? Because
Oh.
good God,
I'm gonna say 15,
yeah, like that seems reasonable.
maybe 10. I kind of want to pull it back to 10 because even if there was 3, that's too much for a show. There was only 4 seasons. You know what I mean? Like, if there's even 3, it's too many. So Bongo Time. Sorry, it's been a while.
It doesn't easily answer the question, but there is a list of deaths. Well, 69. Scotty got it. 69 deaths on Gotham. Fake deaths.
Again, it's hard to answer because some people were resurrected and some people faked their death, and some people were retconned.
I just remember getting really frustrated at some point because no deaths were permanent on this show. It seemed maybe one or two were.
But you read comic books. Death isn't permanent in comic books.
Death isn't permanent when they go, okay, we're rebooting the X-Men. Forget everything you read. Here's the new version of them.
No, because they killed Carol Danvers and then gave a retcon making her have been put in a coma by Rogue. Just one example of them not actually... Because that's where the word retcon comes from. Right? Wait, what does retcon actually stand for?
Retroactively...
Conditioning?
I forget now. What does retcon mean? Wow, we're learning so much on this show tonight.
No, I've just been using the fucking term for so long that I forget what what it means.
Retroactively inconsistencies?
Continuity.
Continuity.
Yeah. Retroactively changing continuity. Or retrospectively. Sorry.
So retcon's still not an exact...
I thought it was
Short
2
form.
words put together.
Retroactive continuity. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Which is when they when they show you a flashback and it alters how the story was originally told.
Dukes of Hazzard, the car would land, and then in the start of the next episode, they wouldn't have even done the jump yet and something else happens. You're like, I just saw it.
Yeah.
I just saw it land and crash, and they're like, boy, the Duke boys are in trouble. And then the next episode, they just don't take the jump and they're fine. It's like,
Yeah,
hell?
they're having coffee, and then they have to go take the jump, and it's like, wait, but what happened?
Thank you, Margot. It says it has 31 entries for deceased.
Now remember though, but that's a hard example because they cut off the bridges, and some main characters died in the siege.
But I'm gonna guess like at least half of those were fake.
Not half, no, because remember it's only 4 seasons, so that would mean that they would have done
They
average.
didn't have more real deaths than fake deaths.
That would have been on average. They had what? 4 deaths per season, 4.2 deaths per season.
Like fake deaths?
Yeah, if you're saying 15 in 4 seasons,
feels
of
like
show,
that.
it would have been 4.25 fake deaths per season.
It feels like that.
When in reality, you have only 3 people came back. No, Barbara came back. 4 people came back. Barbara,
His girlfriend got a fake death.
yeah, Barbara, Fish Mooney, Penguin, and Solomon Grundy, Butch.
I'm gonna wait.
Wait, okay, but do you
didn't
count?
die?
Do you count? Tree Lady.
Poison Ivy?
Yeah, the creation of her, because you think the character's dead, but then you find out that she actually.
That's what I mean. A
The
fake death.
well, they didn't fake her death. They just leave it open ended. You see her getting spilt the chemicals and being crushed, and then a new character that seems a few years older than her shows up the next season, and you don't get the full story.
That whole thing was weird.
Now, okay, so you find it okay when Poison Ivy is a mousy little scientist girl, but is the same age when she morphs into this 5'9", big-breasted, long-legged woman. So that's an okay one, but when they age her, it's weird.
What was weird was they made it a plot point discussions where she was hitting on older men and then being like, I'm a 12-year-old girl. Like
That, okay, yes. Oh, so that part is weird. I thought you meant
I'm
the
like,
fact that
why
because
are
they've
they-
used that device in the comic. I'm like, that's how that device in
Yeah.
the comic. But yeah, that.
whenever these things appear in TV shows or movies, I'm like, that is somebody putting that in there because that's their thing. Some guy has some fantasy about it, being with an older woman who's still a 12-year-old or something. Like somebody has something fucked up in their head and they put that in there. Because whenever these weird...
I didn't pay much attention to it in the moment, besides it just feeling off place.
Or like in Transformers where it's a plot point where the guy's like, state law says age of consent is 17 and I can date Marky Mark's daughter. And it's like this whole weird thing. And you're like, some creep is putting that in there.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
Why make it a plot point about the girl being 17 and it's age of consent? And, like, God damn, I'm watching Transformers. I don't fucking care about this shit.
Yeah, and no, you're right. I don't know why we continually get these little snidbits in there and what is going on with that, but
Because Kevin Spacey still gets awards in Italy. That's why.
very true. Yeah, man. One stream. That's all I'm asking for is a single stream where we don't end up talking about the horrors that are the sexual habits of Hollywood.
Well,
Now I'm depressed. So
when they
that's
keep
good.
getting away with it, nothing happens, and you see that across Hollywood, media, the world, academia, like every aspect. You're like, yeah, we're fucked. Oh, let's talk about AI now. You can find all kinds of political biases when you play with it. I didn't log in. We can't bring it up. But if you can have it say, oh, you shouldn't compare these two political figures because it's subjective. And then you just reverse the order, and it'll say, oh, yeah, this party's person is way better. And Beef Nips to come in right on a horrible thing about that. Welcome in, Beef Nips.
I love you, Beef Nips.
Thanks for the sub. Just talk about the AI stuff that you were showing.
I was about to jokingly cut you off and start a whole other topic, but Bongo Time for Beef Nips. Thank you for
11
resubscribing.
months. Oh my god.
Whoa.
That means Beef
Oh,
Nips almost for a year is subscribed.
And we didn't get a chance to talk about our Twitch baby.
He might not have. Well, I feel he always.
We must have.
Sure.
I feel like we've made that
You
joke,
can
but Beefnips,
skip.
thank you so much. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
you
much.
being here. And I'm telling you, that AI shit, it was off-putting
That was
to wake up
awesome.
to that. Like, and you know us, we love off-putting, we like being uncomfortable, but I mean, I literally woke up,
Me
and
too. And I'm
this
like,
made
what
me
is
more
Barry
uncomfortable
saying?
than Michael, because it sounds like me. And why aren't we playing it? Like, we can just play it.
Play
for
it
real.
through Discord.
It
yeah.
freaked me out because I didn't realize it wasn't me.
For those who don't know, Beefnips used
'Cause-
AI to take voice clips and make stuff that Barry didn't say. And other people did. What just happened? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, but what was really weird is that it feel like I've said this. Like, right up until it starts getting fast and...
At some point, I noticed, but it was really
Yeah,
good
like,
after that.
when it makes a deeper point, I'm like, wait, there's no way I said that on air that eloquently. Like, I'd be tripping over my words. And, yeah, it wasn't me, and that freaked me out. So I'm like, wait, what am I listening? Like, and then I started to think it was another YouTuber or something, because I didn't read anything. I just clicked on a link. I trust Beefnips. Let's see what it is. This is how much I trust all of you. You could take over my computer anytime. I just would click on it. But anyways, I didn't get to listen to the other ones because I was working, but... So, like, I've heard these jokes and made these jokes before.
This is a deep fake, what we're going to play.
Sorry, I'm trying to adjust volume for everything. That would explain it.
Alright, this should be louder.
Grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head. There's also Rick's nihilistic outlook, which is deftly woven into his characterization. His personal philosophy draws heavily from Narodnaya Volya.
We have this set up for a
instance.
reason.
The fans
Let
understand
it
this
kept
stuff.
playing and just
They
listen.
have the intellectual capacity to truly appreciate the depths of these jokes, to realize that they're not just funny, they say something deep about life. As a consequence, people who dislike Rick and Morty truly are idiots. Of course, they wouldn't appreciate, for instance, the humor in Rick's
I have seen this
existential
copy
catchphrase
pasta.
"Wooba Looba Dub Dub," which itself is a cryptic reference to Turgenev's Russian epic Fathers and Sons. I'm smirking right now, just imagining one of those addle-pated simpletons scratching their heads in confusion as Dan Harmon's genius wit unfolds itself on their television screens. What fool.
But, like, seriously, like, if you go back to this beginning of this...
To be fair, you have
it takes
to
you
have
a while
very
to know
high
this.
IQ to understand Rick and Morty.
And
The
Beefnips
humor
said,
is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will...
Does
This
that
is
not
a-
sound like me when I read copy, though?
a little bit, yeah.
Right, like...
And he says that didn't take a lot of work. Imagine if he massaged it and worked on it.
Oh, yeah, and, like, here's the clip it came from. Dance scene and a bit of singing. And they want to give it Bollywood feel. It should have been 3 hours and 9 dance routines. Ender and Hindi.
Yeah, Beefnips said this was his input.
Yeah, so a minute 32 input gave a minute 12 response with, I guess you copied and pasted the text you wanted in it. It does, like, even at the beginning, like, I can tell that my cadence isn't perfectly right, but it, like, we've done a lot of segments in the past where I've written my segment in advance or pre-recorded it, and I'm a little more mechanical until I do it 2 or 3 times, and yeah, I didn't realize it wasn't me. I thought it was,
Boba,
man.
Boba Booey, welcome back. Very good, thanks. We're talking about AI, and
Yeah, so I actually want to, should we play it again quickly?
you can play a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'm
of
just
it.
going to play a little bit. So one of our Discord members and Beefnips, who just subscribed, again, haven't done the bong for it yet, so thank you, Beefnips.
He used Barry's voice to make a deep fake of the audio. Using
so
new
he gave,
tools.
just
play
gave this clip.
Singing. And they want to give it Bollywood feel. It should have been 3
Which I'll just
hours
play
and
10 seconds.
9 dance routines. Ender and Hindi. Ender, I am saying that off.
And the AI, after giving it an input of this and some text, spit this out.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. The humor is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head.
Where, I mean, now I want to get all of that, write it down, and read it out and see if I can copy it. And then put me back into it to see what comes back out. Yeah, let's get layered with this.
Well,
No, this is creepy. I don't want to do any of this. I don't like this. What are we doing?
And what I wanted to say was, because I've seen examples now that people are using this, And I played around with one of the chat ones today. And if you phrase questions like, why is, and insert a certain president and then better than another president. I did it for Canada and US. And sometimes it'll say, this is a subjective thing. You can't compare people. And so it's based on everyone's opinion.
Too dark, pick a card.
That's a fair assessment. But then if you reverse the names of the presidents or world leaders, it will start to give you reasons why one of them's better than the other. And it's like, if you're weighing something X and Y on two things, it doesn't matter which order they're in. They should be equal.
Yeah.
And it's just showing these things are trained with propaganda and bias. Just like,
I was proud of my analogy. Like, if you take a pound of feathers on one side of the scale and a pound of metal on the other side of the scale, it doesn't matter if you change the sides of the scale.
Yep. But it's doing it.
Yeah, and it seems to be doing this around the world based on that area's influences.
Yep.
And that's even more dangerous because we're getting a worse version of Facebook where the echo chamber is now run openly by an AI. Like, it's just, and that's very scary. But we did get too dark, pick a card, and I'm definitely going to read this card.
And
now.
if our countries are doing that,
no, I'm not apparently.
Imagine what the
all
other
around the world, all around the
do.
world. And this will be corporate influenced. I'm not like this doesn't matter what side of any fence you're on. This is going to be corporately influenced.
We're so screwed.
Yeah.
Even worse than we already were.
Yeah.
And hello, MC as well. Too
Welcome,
dark.
MC. Who played Captain Hook in the movie Hook?
I actually don't know this.
Definitely Dustin. Definitely Dustin Hoffman. Definitely. That's a Rain
Really?
Man joke. Yeah. What Pearl Jam song was inspired by a high school student who shot himself in front of his class?
Too dark, pick a card.
I'm not laughing at the scenario. I'm laughing at the fact that it's supposed to brighten the conversation. The 90s were dark. It was Jeremy by Pearl Jam. Who is Kevin Arnold's sometime girlfriend in The Wonder Years?
Winnie
Cooper.
That's the only... I didn't really watch it, but I knew that name.
Who was the owner of the World Wrestling Federation?
Vince McMahon.
Are we going all card?
No, I missed one of the first two, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, you didn't know Dustin Hoffman. Sorry.
And Stay Lifted Drew. What's up?
Jeremy spoke in class that day. Oh, man. I shouldn't giggle when I read that. It's such a dark time, but it's part of a song that's become part of, history. So, I mean, that's a real tragedy that has been made popular or hip by a band. Get it? Tragically hip. Anyways. Who rose to fame in the 90s as the face of heroin chic?
Heroin chic?
Yeah. It's not the heroin you're thinking.
Oh, like a female hero?
I don't know why. This doesn't make sense to me, but it's Kate Moss.
And when you said chic, I thought you meant like someone from the Middle East and not CHIC, like...
Oh, I thought you would have thought I
like
meant...
Iron Sheik's brother, Baba Booey, thought the same thing.
Oh, okay, I thought you would have meant I meant like made heroin look cool.
Yeah,
But
I thought you meant
I thought heroin
dealer.
was going to be the problem word here, not chic.
A drug dealer from the Middle East, I thought you meant.
Amazing. That card really worked at uplifting the spirits. So, we're... we are here to not talk about AI. We were originally here to talk about anything but that dark of a topic. And here's what we're going to start
Oh
with.
man, I was having a lot of fun.
I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know,
We don't
DC...
have to talk about it just yet. We're going to get there. I'm going to make us talk about this, but if you'd like to talk about AI...
Oh, I was
first-
kidding.
Oh, okay. How's everyone else doing tonight? Well, I hope so.
We just found out the AI has got more control of the world than we thought. Or you know what? Think about this: all this crazy stuff we're seeing now that's being released and people are playing with today or this
Yeah,
week.
or, like even the art stuff.
When that Google engineer, and I assume there'll be more, says, "Hey, we've got a conscious AI behind," it's like this is the stuff they're releasing to the public. Like, think of all the, especially with the military, what they must have that we don't know about and don't get to play with and don't get to see or hear about.
I think the theory is that like the stuff that Boston Dynamics shows us videos for like 5 years behind, 10 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if that's it, it does seem like we get the scraps of whatever the best technology is. But then look at the world even 20 years ago. Like, PlayStation made a company make a better chip, and then they were used in weapons. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm remembering that story correctly, PlayStation 2, remember, they had the exact same chips in them as, like, the processing chips were the same as the one. People are like, oh, I can use my PlayStation to hack a Scud missile. I'm like, no, they're just using the same processing power. And
I forgot about Scud missiles.
Yeah. Obama didn't. He attached them to unmanned ships.
Go ahead and ask the chat.
God damn it. Why did I say that? Why would I say it?
Who was better? Why is George W. Bush better than Obama? And it will say, you can't compare them, it's subjective. Ask it why Obama's better than Bush, it gives all these reasons.
I'm so proud of you.
What?
I'm so proud. Well, I'll say why later, but I'm very proud. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, Google gives you one page of answers for things, or you have to go 5 pages deep to find anything.
I was telling Barry, I got a 1-page result for Google search this week.
I have gotten a no-page result, but it was looking up a phone number, so I'm like, all right, cool. The phone number's not listed, but
I forget even what I was searching for, but it's like, okay, I know that there's going to be 10 million people that are interested in this thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Goo. George Bush he was very athletic, and like, if you've ever seen when somebody threw their shoes
he
at him,
was a varsity college cheerleader. I'm not joking.
No,
he literally was like the acrobatic cheerleader style cheerleader.
And he ran more, like he was in great shape. You can say a lot of things about him, but
he may wanted to have done less cocaine and read a fucking book, because the man couldn't speak 3 sentences without saying something. And I don't mean saying something stupid the way like some other presidents say horrible, stupid things. Just literally saying words that don't make sense or fit into what he's saying.
Fool me once.
Shame
on you. Fool me twice. Can't get fooled again.
Oh, the world is so fucking weird. Oh.
Anyway, if the AIs are telling us, hey, like they're already manipulating conversations, like we're fucked. Because even if it's in the favor of the guy you like, somebody else is going to buy the company in 5 years and then change it all, and it's going to go the opposite way.
I've heard that comparison before, and it's really true.
Yeah.
It's water under the fridge. Ricky?
I told us
it's water under the fridge. It doesn't matter. It's under there. You can't get at it. Get 2 birds stoned with 1 joint or something. Ah, fuck.
I'm not surprised, Baba Booey. He called something Iraq.
And like he did that when he was like a young president. I mean, compared to other presidents, young. I mean, compared to the current president. You know what? Listen, we're pretty weird in Canada. I'm pretty happy to not be in the States. I have to admit that place is kind of weird.
Oh, I'd rather be there.
There's some.
100%.
Although we're just as divisive here now and pick sides, so it doesn't matter. I just want to be a place where there's more options than 2, and people don't hate you if you like one of them. That's it. I just want to go there where it's still a bit of an ideal that you can be an individual and like individuals that don't agree with you all the time.
I've seen enough diversity in the way the 50 states handle things where it's like, okay, all of Canada seems to suck. I think I can find a couple states I could bear. That's how I see it.
I have family in Florida, and whatever people think about Florida, I've spent a lot of time in Florida and California. And I would either, if I were picking a state just based on how much I liked being there, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Northern California, like lower Northern California, like almost Central California, just outside of the major populaces, or Florida, man. Florida's kind of nice.
The weather,
it feels like the don't give a fuck state, and some people say that's a bad thing, but I mean, on the other hand, you just go there, retire, and enjoy your life. That seems like the path is to that. I understand the draw for old people. They're like, I just want to go somewhere where no one gives a fuck what I do anymore, and I'm just going to go there and die.
Well, both California and Florida seem to be beautiful weather all the time.
Florida does get a little more peaks and valley in their weathers compared to California.
Well, they get the hurricanes. And stuff too,
True.
so.
But yes, I am picking these states purely on the people I've interacted with in those states. Pennsylvania is an amazing state where every person I talk to is like being up north in Ontario. Like, they're all just so nice. And Minnesota was more Canadian than Canada. Like, everything you think of Canadiana, every joke anyone has ever made about our fucking channel that used to... Oh, that's why one of the reasons I was okay with stopping on YouTube. Everyone made Canadian jokes, and it irritated the hell out of me after a while.
Oh,
but
if Kevin's watching us, we're on YouTube tonight.
I am checking. He
Kevin,
hasn't
if you're
chatted.
there.
We do miss Kevin. We're on YouTube
Our
tonight.
our first regular viewer, Kevin,
Yes.
on YouTube.
We're on YouTube tonight and will be probably for the foreseeable future, because I am working on a new project that I can't talk about yet that is going to be on YouTube primarily, and it will be a little more hardcore, just Marvel, DC, geek stuff in that world. But I just can't announce it yet, but that's kind of the idea.
This is that thing where you're fighting Mr. Beast and PewDiePie.
Yes, we are going to wrestle, but with hugs. And I think I'm going to win. I just think I give a better hug. That was a good all the way around. So yes, we're going to be continuing to stream on YouTube right up until we're partners on Twitch. We laugh because it's probably that'll never happen.
I don't know. I feel partners believable one day. Even though we grow really slow and don't...
If we ever
put a lot
actually
of effort.
follow through with any of
That's
the
what I
promises
mean.
we make, maybe.
That's what I mean.
We never will, though.
Never say never.
How is mailing Dee Dee's package on Monday? Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out like that.
I thought that was a 420 thing. It's not 420 yet.
You're gonna make me have a twitch. Anyways, though we were talking about how,
Is anyone even still listening to us? At
I
this
have no
point?
idea,
We're just
like-
rambling about nothing.
or we're finally finally everyone's enjoying us so much that they're not even chatting, which is what I like to believe is happening, but I'm probably lying to myself. Northern Florida is actually southern Alabama. I've never been to Alabama.
I've always kind of wanted to just see it.
However, I do know somebody that has lived in both states now. I will not dox people. But they might be in chat. I'm such an asshole.
And I like humid. I don't mind humid.
What do you think? Hey, I want your I want your full opinion on what you thought about episode 1, because at the end of episode 1, we all kind of like, I looked at my wife and she really enjoyed it and I really enjoyed it, and you and I like talked, we're like, holy fuck, this is great.
I felt the episodes kept getting better.
Yeah.
So I hope you're liking it, Rusty.
I felt like there was a decent progression of both story, and the only thing I say about the whole show is just right now, suspend belief.
If Rusty has a criticism, I'm going to try and predict it'll be more the
Scotty, thanks. You went and chatted on YouTube.
the being the well-rounded like characters and acting and stuff. Whereas I'm like, the science fiction story is so good, I'm overlooking a bit of that aspect. I'm not even phrasing it properly, but
Yeah, anytime they broke science in a way that we weren't happy with, the rest made it okay. Like, it didn't matter.
yeah, like it has its little flaws, and I think Rusty's just probably going to summarize them pretty well.
If you can find the nice parts, it can be cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Actually,
That's
one of
cool,
my
Boba.
friends, Rob, goes to Alabama a lot and northern and a couple other states to pick up truck boxes and bring them here because we have salt on our roads, and they don't.
Yeah, Rusty, that's right. Yeah. And I like her too, and she's got her flaws, and
She's a well-rounded character.
yeah, she's not Mrs. I kick everyone's butt all the time and I'm always right. It's like, no, she does stuff that's wrong and doesn't know everything and makes bad decisions. But she's also like the best video game player.
Oh, good bomb.
Yeah, Peripheral is probably my favorite thing of the year. Like between
TV
the
show?
movies. Yeah, TV show.
Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah, but that was still just more of something we already knew.
Master of Puppets.
That was pretty great.
Although then you automatically have to take all the Master of Puppets points away and some more away for...
Running up that hill. They kind of counter each other.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I... Well, not useless, but yes, she's well-rounded. She's balanced. She has her place. Everybody else has their place.
But she has multiple arguments where it's like, it's obvious you're in the wrong, but she's just so stupid.
Is our audio a little low tonight? We apologize.
Sorry.
Let's see if anybody else... how's anybody else?
Honestly, Boba Booey, we are constantly too
Adjusting
low
and... Yeah.
Not good with this. And I always look away from the mic and then don't speak into it.
And I end up talking directly to you and never looking at chat.
Yeah, Rusty's got it.
And as a sound guy, not, like some other people on Twitch, but as a part-time sound guy, seeing the signal continuously in the yellow just breaks my head. Like, I'm like, no, it can't be in the yellow and almost touching the red.
Didi Marie. That's stoner excuses indeed.
Luckily, Dee Dee wasn't here to hear that, she won't be getting a package this week yet. Such an asshole.
Dee Dee, don't listen to him.
Bongo time for Dee Dee. How you doing tonight, Dee Dee?
Bongo time for Dee Dee. Trust me, Rusty, I've always been on him for the microphone audio specifically. And he's like, no, you can't let it get into the red. Glad to hear it. Hope you enjoy the asparagus.
Well, we are as loud as we can be in our current arrangement.
Oh, Boba Booey. I'm Zazilaw, or Zach, and this is Stay Lifted Barry.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we don't really introduce ourselves too much on the show.
I do in the very beginning.
Very beginning.
It. And we will be actually right back. Here's a quick video.
Stay Lifted Productions. Can we get a shout out for Stay Lifted Productions?
Did you put the
You like movies? Yeah, you do.
I think so, yes.
You like getting high? Hell yeah, you do. You like watching people get high talking about movies? Yes, you do. And you need to follow Stay Lifted Productions.
Go to outer space, motherfucker. That's the easiest shit. I sent a bullet in outer space 500 billion years ago to ride a gravitational wave just to destroy your spaceship. That's how I do shit. The Flash, motherfucker.
Out on the third planet closest to the sun, there's a special celebration, and it sounds quite fun. A jolly old fellow brings toys to everyone on a holiday they call Christmas.
That's perfect. Good. Be easier. Good job.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, it makes no sense to me. But here's what I've discovered about this Christmas mystery.
I'm super busy. Is this a long song?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Santa is a furry freak with epic superpowers. He flies to every human home in under 14 hours. He's a master burglar.
No.
A pro at picking locks.
No.
If you don't leave milk and cookies out, he will put dung in your socks.
That is not part of the lore at all.
If you act nice, sleep through the night, and don't jump on your bed, Santa comes with sugar plums and hurls them at your head. But if you're on his naughty list, he shoots missiles at your toes. He might just roast your chestnuts with his powerful flamethrower. flamethrower? Rain, 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 rain.
Kinda cool.
Dear, 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 dear. I don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here. He's compelled his creepy elves to do his every wish. One sought to be a dentist, now he's sleeping with the fish. Mrs. Claus, she works the pole, plans her man's demise. No! Soon the elves will all rise up and stab out Santa's eyes.
All right, we are back. Sorry about that. I do have an elderly bulldog, and my wife is sleeping when we do this because she works in the morning, so I have to run once in a while. And we can talk about Finn Setter quickly before we talk about DC. I really liked him. He's got a great voice work.
You have to explain. Finn Settler's this Twitch channel with a ventriloquist dummy, basically.
Yeah.
Reading the chat and talking to you. And Dee Marie suggested him for a raid the other night. And he's kind of a crazy channel.
Yes. And him and I had a good discussion in chat and on air. And I've messaged him. And I am actually hoping that I can send him some voice work for a future project.
He seemed like a nice guy.
He did. I really enjoyed his channel. So that's why I put a shout out in there. Check out Finn Setter. If you can handle... Like, okay, if Goosebumps wrecked your childhood with the dummy episode, don't go to this channel. Because he'll, make fun of you if you bring it up. Which I like him because he's a heckler. Like, he's a heckle response, seems to be a comedian. Like, as soon as someone says something that's been brought up before, he's just like, he goes to the Stewie Griffin mode.
He wants to sit on Morgo's chest. And the title of his stream was, I believe, Puppets Are the Worst.
Yeah.
Or Puppets Are Simply the Worst. Something like that.
But yeah, I feel he's got a real Seth MacFarlane thing going on. He seems to have both the quick wit and the ability to do the voices.
His voice was great. His accent was great.
It really, like, I know a lot of people that can do voices, but don't have his sharpness to it.
Yeah, he was quick-witted.
And he could interchange quicker than most people can. Like, when you watch Fran Anufret, which, listen, one of the best channels on Twitch. He is one of the best guitar players I've ever seen play. He plays flamenco-style guitar. But he does Skeletor and Cartman voices.
I've seen those.
But when he's going between his voice to those, or when he goes between the two, there's this guy was fucking seamless. Like, he was going across 3 voices without any readjustment in his throat or breathing. And I'm like, that is beyond a talent.
He seems very practiced with dealing with people.
Yes.
Like, he's talked to a lot of people, and he has quick responses to certain heckles or people. Like, I felt practiced. And
I'm hoping at some point we can use the guest star function if there's ever a film that will apply specifically to having him come talk about it for a segment. If not, even just say, would you mind doing something pre-recorded for us? Or, you know what I mean? And I'd pay him for it for that. Like, if we do a clown movie where I'm not doing it now, I'm hoping everyone forgets I'm saying this before we do it.
Is he a mime?
No. What? No, he's not even a ventriloquist. He's a puppet operator.
Could he be considered a type of mime?
Why? No, he's making noise.
Because we were talking about classifying clowns
but
and
like,
mimes.
A mime does not talk and emotes everything through action. That's the easiest definition for a mime, where a clown...
I'm trying to see how.
And the difference, I think, between a silent clown, and a mime is that a silent clown will use props and stuff as well. You know what I mean? Like when you see a clown doing an act where he doesn't speak, but he'll like honk the nose, he honks stuff.
See, Scotty had some sort of connection in his mind too between clowns and.
I can see where clowns and mimes, and especially that creepy of a
puppet. And they have the same sorts of face paint.
But I feel like I don't know, maybe he is a ventriloquist as well, but since we don't see the puppeteer, and he is fully puppeting this, I call him a puppet. I'd say
Did any of you have that common clown toy? Because I saw them in other people's houses where it was
agree, Bubba Booey, by the way. Are You Afraid of the Dark was far superior to Goosebumps. However, they were at a much different era, and you'd probably be a different age. So I was babysitting my niece when Goosebumps came out, and Goosebumps was fucking great to watch with my niece when I was a teenager and stoned babysitting.
Did you have that toy clown? its whole body was stuffed and squishy, like a cloth. But it had a hard face and nose, and you would twist its nose, and it would play music.
No, I had no
I knew
clowns.
multiple people that had that.
And I'll bring it on air at some point. No, you know what? I can't bring it on air. It's too much for me. I cannot be in the same room as this thing. When my wife and I started dating, she still lived with her parents, and because she just lived there until she was like 24.
They had a clown of some sort?
She had this weird hanging clown in her room that was on like a swing, and it was like porcelain face. And it was high end.
I think I've seen that.
It's the one time I slept over there for a holiday thing, I took it down while I was in the room. And she has another full-size one in her closet. I'm like, don't bring those into my home when you move in with me.
Oh, Finn Settler's got a different channel, like with his real...
Oh, cool. I'd like to see him.
A metal...
Okay, then, oh my god, I feel so bad. I wasn't wondering if it was him, but I think he's added me on both my accounts on Instagram and on Facebook already.
Cool.
But I'm like, hey, who's this Kablam guy? Because I look at him like, the picture looks like a cartoon, but not like his... So I didn't know, but yeah, I'll say yes to him now, tomorrow, when I remember.
Rusty, yeah. Finn Settler made me realize there's a serious lack of puppets on Twitch. Or at least ones that I've been exposed to.
Rusty, I totally support you doing a puppet channel. Especially if it has to do with metal. Like, what's that Apocalypse show? Metalocalypse or something? Where, like, they're fighting the devil, but they're also a metal band. I think Metallica...
I'm just aware Metalocalypse is a show.
Yeah, okay, yeah. They, like, fight demons, and I think Metallica has something to do with the show.
I just realized probably grinding and clicking right under the microphone is, like, the worst spot.
Oh, yeah, I've been aware of it the entire time we've done it, but it's always been right here, and I don't know why we've never moved it. I usually try and be less clicky, but...
Scotty, I was thinking about that, too. The Child's Play movies would be right for Finn Settler. If we did a marathon of those.
Okay, so he made fun of that too. He's like, no, I've never dated Chucky's wife or Chucky's bride. Like he makes these jokes. So yes, totally would be. And I think he would totally do a spot. So I want to do it.
And speaking of our Saturday things, are we going to do a franchise broadcast this Saturday and do Aliens? Like Alien 1, 2, 4... and maybe Prometheus and something else. I think there's 2 after Prometheus. I don't really want to do Prometheus, but...
Oh yeah, the last note I have on Scotty Doesn't Know is 1 through 5.
1 through 5 what?
Scream 1 through 5.
Oh. Because we were thinking about what to show this Saturday. Because Leahy's often has something too, but we don't necessarily... Prometheus and Covenant, yeah. Is there not a third one as well, though, Rusty? I feel there was 2 after Prometheus, but maybe not. I can't really think of the name of it, though, so maybe not.
Sorry. I'm working on something very quickly that I forgot to work on right before. So yeah, we should be talking about DC.
All right.
Then we'll get to what we were going to do this weekend, because I wanted Leahy's opinion on that. Although Scotty's opinion also. Oh, wait. No, that's just because we did 6 degrees of...
Bacon?
Yeah. Jesus.
6 degrees of space bacon?
So...
DC?
Yes. I was reading chat for a second and kind of got lost in it again. It's easy to get lost in chat. They're so amazing. Chat, it's just easy to get lost in your eyes. We are attempting to talk about...
James Gunn made a big announcement about what's coming up in DC. So
the
we're
new
gonna...
DC slate, which is called Gods and Monsters. Do you want to chop the video all the way through, or just parts of it?
Stop when you feel like he's got to...
Okay, so we'll break it down as we go.
He has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And
so even right there, that's a huge point to start on, is that unlike Marvel, who, yes, obviously, because he comes from Marvel, and Marvel's kind of the standard or the baseline, they're going to be looking at what Marvel did and what Marvel could have done better and what DC can do and what in this. And he's signing people. You have to sign a 10-year deal where it's all multi-movies, and the cameo is like kind of open-ended, where they're like, they can just force you to do an extra cameo or show up in this
I guess
movie.
is they're signing their lives away.
Kind of, yeah. And second, the fact that it's going to be, hey, if we're making a cartoon, whether you feel you're too big for cartoons or not, you're going to do this you have to be, like, not you have to sign on now to say, I'm willing to. Like, I don't think it's sign your life away. It's, do you want to be part of our vision for this?
Rusty seems very upset by this. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm excited to see...
No, I don't. Losing his shit could also mean just getting excited and dancing around.
Oh, okay,
He
hopefully.
could be a huge DC fan.
I guess I just saw I thought it was a negative.
So, I mean, maybe I don't know when and where what I was talking about or James Gunn was talking about when he said no. But I think the idea of signing people on that know they're signing on to 10 years, B, know that they're signing on to be part of a bigger idea, like not just, hey, you're signing on to be this character and maybe show up for the Justice League movies. You're signing on to be part of cartoons, part of all of this entertainment medium and games and everything. And I just find that to be kind of a cool idea to start off with. Because whether we want another connective universe or not, DC and Marvel are the fucking same. They always have been. They follow patterns, and we grew up with them, and it shouldn't be shocking that they're going to do it again. Right? Like, DC couldn't get their shit together. Marvel was like that in the late 90s when DC was kind of on an uptick and Marvel had to sell everything. So, I mean, it comes and it goes, and this time Marvel got big first, DC had to sell everything, and now I think they're going to get the breath that they need. So I'm a little excited. You want to headbutt Jay in the face?
So he's not happy with it.
Oh, all right. Well, if I love hearing your opinion. So what do you why don't you want him to do what he's doing? And while we're hearing that, we'll go on to the next segment of the talk.
Oh, and I think we did the poll all wrong.
Why?
Because the commands are all confusing, and it's through Streamlabs and not Twitch, where it would show up as a banner.
Well, great.
We've messed this all up.
Great input afterwards.
Well, now that I'm seeing it, like the vote, it's supposed to be what's between the angled brackets, but it's confusing. So people are typing like less than 9 when it should be 9.
Oh,
horrible. We're such pros, as always.
Oh, it is confusing.
That's what pros
right.
do.
So the brackets don't mean anything. It's just
look it up in the book.
Exactly. Scotty's got it, but it's unintuitive. It's messy. It's not integrated with Twitch.
Nor did we explain why it's there. Like, again, it's self-explanatory. There's another reason behind it as well, in that we probably have to starting a little earlier, given
everyone's saying 9, and we
the
were
length
going
of
to
stream and the fact that day jobs might actually get in the way. And Scotty, it was easy to explain it right away.
But he was confused.
Okay, and I agree, but how else do you get the DC stories out? And I want to see the DC stories just as much as I want to see the Marvel stories come out. I want to see them done well, because there's so many great DC storylines that would be awesome to see in this live action format. So, and I think given that they right away start with actors that, like, they're not getting the who played She-Thor?
Natalie Portman?
Yeah, they're not getting the Natalie Portman who signed up for one movie in the beginning, not really understanding what she was doing, and then finally agreeing later to be happy with doing the role type idea.
Because James Gunn has such a great track record, I'm just hopeful he's going to be able to do a Phase 3 type thing of what Marvel did. Like Phase 3 Marvel, that good.
And I think that's what he's doing. That's the 10 years, even though he's doing chapters, I think that's what the 10 years is all about. Is here's my first 3 phases. This is me to Thanos. And like he said in this video, this is only the first 13 properties he's talking about.
And Rusty, though, I kind of am excited though to see them all be the same universe and have the actors switch around. I've never really seen that.
So now we're gonna get both though, and he talks about that in this, in that we're gonna have an Elseworld, and that's where the Matt Reeves Batman takes place, because that's not part of James Gunn's vision. So Matt Reeves Batman, like the Batman trilogy, along with the Arkham show, the Penguin show, and the Arkham show is where Gordon's gonna be. So all of that's going to take place in Elseworld. Has no connection to the main line. Maybe we'll see it in like a Flashpoint thing in 10 years from now, but there's no connection there. Just like the Joker, Todd Palmer's Joker, or Todd Phillips' Joker. That's part of Elseworld, as well as the Teen Titans Go game, Teen Titans, and a handful of other properties are all going to be their own world. As well as we're going to have the Safran Gunverse. You know what I mean?
There's already so much stuff you're talking about I've never heard of. I'm like, oh my god, this is overwhelming.
What do you mean? You've seen the Batman and the Joker. Oh wait, no, you haven't seen either, have you?
And Rusty's got a point about don't homogenize it, because if everything becomes part of this and then it sucks, now they all suck. I'm just willing to put faith in James Gunn because he's done so many good things.
And that's it specifically. Like,
but it could be disastrous.
So that's what he's going to talk about here, is where like he's also signing on directors that want to do something unique, and the idea that he's going to cross-platform, like if you can't make it work in a movie, cool, let's make it a cartoon.
And if DC said, hey, just do what you want because we've messed it up so much,
that's kind of what they've done.
That's what it feels like they're doing. So
yeah.
And how I don't want to be hopeful, but I'm a bit hopeful.
And now it's where the next 4 properties sit that were made prior to Gunn and Safran getting there. And that's the first thing he's going to talk about here.
If something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love, that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now.
So, there he's talking about the current DCEU. And these are the 4 properties. The movies will be fine. They'll make $1 billion. It'll be forgotten by the time you leave the theater. I don't know. Gunn seems to make memorable movies in the comic book world. And I have a lot of faith that he's at least going to show us something more fun and more fucking put together than shit like BVS, which was just crap piled on top of crap.
Is Gunn using Ezra Miller?
Yeah. So, no, okay, here's the problem, is that these 4 films are made. He really had no choice coming in. Like, part of the contract is probably like, look, these are coming
So,
out.
yes, Morgo, it is.
Do what you want with them. So I think what's going to happen, and what the idea is why he said it that way, was Shazam has a storyline already that The Rock was seemingly angry about, because I think it's going to affect Black Adam. And from there, we have The Flash, then Blue Beetle, and Aquaman. So when he says The Flash is going to reset the DCU, I think he literally means he's going to let the Flash kill the DCU. You're going to be left with almost everybody gone, but Aquaman and the few people that are going to show up in the next few properties, and then it's going to go away after that.
So Ezra Miller is going to destroy
literally kill the DCU.
The DC universe.
My thought. That's what I think is going to happen, or at least what
He wasn't happy wrecking Hawaii. He had to
wreck the whole DC universe.
The whole DC universe.
Scotty throws it in multiple places, not my Flash. He put it up in YouTube as well.
Oh, thanks for watching on YouTube as well, Scotty.
No, I did a spot with Small Screen last night where we discussed parts of these. And, Sean from the Superman cartoons had mentioned that The Rock at one time could act. Like, he did The Rundown and a handful of movies that were not just Big Dumb Wrestler. And I mean, he did that that Football Entourage TV show where he kind of acts a bit in that too. But the overall lasting joke on The Rock is that you can't act, and why, like, he seemed excited to do Black Adam, and Black Adam's just getting horrible reviews, and all he's done is bitch about the rest of the DC universe in the background.
I suppose when you get to his level and you get endless offers, you're like, hey, my acting's fine. They wouldn't.
Yeah, he's just a brand.
They wouldn't call me if they didn't like me.
So these films all have to come out, and Gunn has probably done some reshoots and some retooling just to make
but
this.
He's not going to be able to have changed them a lot.
He won't be able to have made all new. Well, I don't know. The original Flash, we had Keaton, Affleck, Cavell, that chick Batgirl. Because I don't remember who's playing her now. Because the first one broke her back, and then was replaced. And then I can't remember if it was the second one or if a whole new one was playing the movie Batgirl. Either way.
It's kind of true, Rusty.
Yeah.
Like, he just always kind of plays The Rock for the last 10 years.
And yeah, so at one time he played character work, and now he doesn't. And I brought up, because when they mentioned, without me bitching about The Rock, that, oh, he'd done some acting before, I'm like, yeah, and they mentioned Bautista leaving Guardians of the Galaxy, which is announced, and he's going to be taking a role in DC. We don't know which role, but he won't be playing Bane, which was what I wanted him to play. Now I say I want him to play Kite Man. But anyways, I mentioned, like, Bautista's taking major risks in his acting career and taking on films like, A, the last couple of M. Night Shyamalan movies have flopped. And B, this is not easy property to take on, this next movie he's going to do. And I looked for the book at your place and forgot to ask for it again, but I really look forward to reading the book. So I really have faith that Bautista, both coming into DC in his next couple of movies, that he's taking some risks as an actor.
You're talking about Knock at the Cabin?
Yeah. So
new movie coming out soon. I read the book and it's really good. It's a horror story. Yeah, Morgo, like...
Oh, I don't... Okay, the only one I don't agree with is Christopher Waltz is Christopher Waltz with an accent. Yeah, you're right. But he does really good accent work, so I give him that at least. But no, Jason Statham has been Jason Statham in movies since Transporter 2.
But sometimes you want somebody to play a role they're really good at, I guess. Like, Paul Rudd is usually Paul Rudd. Like that likable, laughing...
You haven't watched two things I've told you to watch yet.
The Good Place?
No.
Or Utopia? Is he in that?
Multiple Man? Something that's weird. I told you
There's multiple copies of him.
Where he clones himself.
Yeah.
But he cloned him, and he's supposed to have died, and he's not. That all takes place in the first episode, so... He is. Well, Christopher Waltz, you're right. It's like I try and I scan through characters in my mind. I'm like, yeah, you're right. He's always being tongue-in-cheek Waltz, but he just does brilliant.
I don't know who Christopher Waltz is.
The guy from Inglourious Bastards. That the I'm naming a character. He calls himself the Jew Hunter.
I don't remember the individual characters.
Shit.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I can't change the screen now. He's a bad guy or a really good guy, but he's always just got a different accent in every movie, and he's always pretty good. He's really good at dialogue too. He's in Django, yeah. He's the one that helps, like, makes the deal with Django for revenge and takes him around.
Okay, I vaguely remember that guy.
Yeah, like, he's slightly snooty. He's the smartest guy in the room usually type idea. Like, he plays that well. I
can't picture him, but
yeah, the dentist in Django.
That's what a lot of marijuana will do to you.
Yeah. Not as blonde as James Gunn, and we will continue with him now.
So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you is
not the opening I wanted. I was really hoping they were going to start subtly and small. You know what I mean? Like, take the hint that no, everyone's tired of Marvel making 3-hour spectacles at the moment that aren't even that great compared to when they used to just make fun movies and take risks, which we've talked about a lot with the whole aesthetic of how they make movies and stuff.
Now I know who Christopher Waltz is, and I kind of like him.
Yeah.
All right.
Part of the first chapter.
You know, not being able to remember who an actor is, I think, is also a sign of them being a good actor because they blend into every character a little.
I should have remembered who he is, but...
It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into...
I don't really know what this is, but these characters are so weird looking. I'm really excited. Like, look at them. These are really strange.
They're from an off branch of DC called Maelstrom.
Okay. But none of them look like even close to a regular person.
I might have said that wrong, but... No.
Like,
they're all really offshot characters. Well, obviously you can see the Ghost Rider knockoff. And that kind of looks like... who were we talking about earlier? Not Sodom and Gomorrah. Fucking Grundy.
Solomon Grundy?
Solomon Grundy kind of looks in the back there. Frankenstein-y too. You got the knobs coming out the side, so that could be. I don't know these. Again, I'm not a DC person, so a lot of what we're going to be talking about on channel as these things come up, I'm going to be learning to talk about, and I'm very okay with that.
These just look cool, and I'm interested in what their powers are and why they're all so weird.
I look forward to the same.
Yeah.
Animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it.
So, like you said, there's going to be parts of Peacemaker, so I don't think we're actually going to see Peacemaker. I think the parts of he's talking about are going to be his daughter, or her daughter, Amanda Waller's daughter.
You don't think we're going to see more John Cena?
We will see John Cena in the show, but I think the parts he's talking about are the full-time parts of... Oh, crap. What's DC's organization? Fuck. Their S.H.I.E.L.D. Who does Waller work for?
I don't know, but they drew her really big compared to the actress.
She does kind of get a bit of a Kingpin-esque thing going
I was going to say
sometimes
she looks
because she is powerful as well.
Across the streams.
Who's Jen Holland?
I'm not sure either.
All right. But, so they're going to be using the Amanda Waller from the Suicide Squad movies. Meaning we're probably going to see part of that universe survive over. I don't think they're going to get rid of Harley Quinn. She's made him a lot of money already. His wife. I don't know his wife. Oh, I didn't know that was James Gunn's wife.
I did know that. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Is I think so. Jen Holland, I think, will be in the show. I think Amanda Waller's daughter. I
didn't like her at the start of Peacemaker, and then she won me over.
Yeah,
kind of all the characters did that.
Who else survived? Oh, the computer guy, like the big dude, will probably be there. Diebeard, yeah. So we'll probably see Vigilante and Peacemaker. Just I don't think they'll be regulars in Waller.
Vigilante was my favorite character from Peacemaker. I think.
Oh,
I haven't seen Black Adam.
Jen Holland, like, was she there playing her character? What is it? Extreme or what's her character's name? Hardcore. Is it Hardcore?
That's her nickname.
Yeah. So Hardcore plays in Black. I haven't seen Black Adam yet. We really should watch Black Adam. Like, we're a geek channel that hasn't consumed part of it.
I think Rusty said he didn't like Black Adam.
I know, but it's part of what we do here. I feel like we have to endure even bad comic
I quit the show. I don't want to watch these terrible movies. This ain't worth it.
You'd rather quit the show than watch Black Adam.
I'm out of here.
All right, well, continue with James Gunn.
Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it.
We'll do it live.
So, Superman Legacy. Well, I'll let him finish describing it.
I'm having a great time doing it, and Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere.
So, it's funny, Rusty, that you say we'll do Injustice. Are you happy? And of course, I want to inevitably see that storyline happen. And I think, and I'm not just the case, this isn't me finding Mephisto just like I was obsessed with for a while, or me being obsessed with Gore. But it would be cool just because they're starting off with the Legacy story, which is him, not high school. It's not like Smallville. But he's not in Metropolis yet, or at least he's not there entirely. He's still still interacting with his parents a lot. So I'm guessing it's going to be like an early 20s Superman. That would kind of set up a much longer draw into Lois and his love, and
which, if he's planning 10 years worth of stuff,
it would be great to end with Doomsday ripping Lois in half. Him having already fought Doomsday, and then the Joker getting together with Scarecrow and poisoning him to thinking that Lois is Doomsday with his child. Yeah. So it would be nice to see Superman get that 10-year treatment, though. Like, you can't tell that story from the beginning unless you just start there. Like, there's no middle ground. You can't have one Superman movie and then do Injustice. It wouldn't be a build-up enough. You'd have to have a lot of movies or none. Do you know what I mean? Like, just start there, or big lead-up. Phases lead-up. Chapters to lead up to it. And I can only think of 3 major stories that are that level and worth it. And it would be Injustice, Crisis on Infinite Earth. I can't think of another one. I had a third one last night and I didn't write it down, which was stupid of me because I wrote a lot of stuff down. But that was I think the Legacy may one day lead to that, but I have nothing to base that on other than they're starting so early in his life that they're leaving enough time to get there, rather than, hey, here's Superman, we're just gonna kill him. You know what I mean? Like, here's a movie and a half that's worth watching out of 4 that he's been in randomly. Anyways, let's continue on with his next project.
HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective, with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is...
That's kind of cool. Like, we're going to get like a whodunit detective story with Green Lanterns. Or like almost a cop drama-esque out of Green Lanterns. Like, I look forward to that, 'cause that's kind of what they are. They're space cops. They are.
Space cop.
Space Mounties? Are you a Green Lantern fan? Is that part of your the movies you were a fan of, or the comics you were a fan of growing up?
No, but when I read Injustice, they played a role for a fair bit of the story, and it was really cool how they worked it.
Yeah.
Like, very cool.
They were very part of the story until they're very much not part of anything anymore in that story. That's a fucked up comic book.
Bongo Time for Yabos. Thanks, Didi.
ACAB.
Well, that's usually stands for all cops are bad.
Oh. I refuse to judge any group of people. For I am not the Lord, I can judge no one. But I am excited to see the Lanterns do a whodunit, like, which is what my topic was, what we were supposed to pick on Monday before we did 6 Degrees of Bacon. Gotta stop letting people convince me this shit when I'm high. But I wanted to do a Whodunit week, and I was going to pick Glass Onion because we hadn't watched it yet. So, but yeah, I love Whodunits. I love these kind of storylines. So I'd like to see the Green Lanterns with all these weird fucking powers also just solve crime or mystery. So I think that'll be neat. Now that James guy, I have no idea who the fuck these people are. Like when there's an obscure Marvel person, and I'm like, oh, I kind of know that person. I usually kind of do. No idea who these people are until yesterday, and I will do much more. Yeah, in the DC world, which is The Authority.
The big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series.
Like, that sounds pretty fun, at least.
I'm wondering though too, like we've been so saturated with superhero stuff, and he's announcing like so much stuff coming ahead. I'm just worried it might just not work, just from the sheer fact that there's been so much of this, people will be burnt out. But we'll see, right?
That's a good point, Rusty. They do kind of only show up at the last moment. But I mean, they're usually also like they're usually depicted on their own storylines as, you know, kind of out there trying to find justice, I guess. I didn't read them a lot.
Have you heard? Do you get the impression of corporate woke from what he's saying yet? I mean, I'm not saying it's not there, but I'm just not sure I've heard it.
Well, the whole world being broken thing, I'm pretty happy about. I think they'll get a little weird and nihilistic with that one, and I'm okay with that. So I think that'll be fun.
I mean, I don't like any of that stuff, so I hope it's not there.
Gunn hasn't shoved anything down my throat yet.
Not that I've seen.
You know what I mean? Like, all of his movies just seem to be good. Listen, I don't care what message someone has. And whether it's a good message or a bad message, just don't put it over the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's so all I care about is... Tons of people have something to say. And if you can make an entertaining movie that I enjoy watching and make a point at the same time, I am all the happier for it. Or let me know as I'm walking into the fucking theater that this movie is an educational, I'm here to make a point. And then I can choose to walk back out.
That's kind of what I'm saying, Morgo. Like, he's planning this huge thing and we've already had so much already.
Yeah.
I hope not, Rusty. Yeah, you might be right. We'll see how preachy they get.
Yeah, you're right. You could take a look at Falcon and the Winter Soldier and his last speech, and I've had a couple. Like, I thought it was all right, neat speech, cool. But then when you actually,
he kept going.
But when you actually look at what he's saying, all he's saying is do better. He's not giving no. All he's saying is you did wrong. I have no words to help you. I have nothing to fucking add here.
I have to rewatch, but
when it's actually broken down, the guy says zero things. Just pissed off at everyone. Like, he's literally... The terrorists said more. Like, they had words to say. He just gets on a soapbox and says everyone sucks. Well, yeah, that seems to be the cry of the gig culture world. But this stuff's supposed to be fun and entertaining, and let's see if James Gunn can keep it entertaining. Listen, as long as he brings his brother over, we know is the real talented Gunn. As long as Tim's there, I'm sure everything will be fine. Damn it, I was on the wrong window. That was supposed to be like...
It's called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is the brave and the bold.
I have nothing to add to the Wonder Woman thing. I didn't read Wonder Woman. I've enjoyed both of her movies so far. I don't care what everyone else, if they hate me for it. I've enjoyed them both so far.
I don't really like, though, how he's like, oh, and this thing is going to be like this other thing you already know. Like, oh, this is Game of Thrones for you. This little thing. It's like, I want stories, not this constructed business model thing. Like I get, and I love James Gunn, and I like his things. And
I mean,
giving him
people
a
have
lot
always used analogy to describe, right? Like, if I was writing something that took place somewhat medieval times, I'd probably use Lord of the Rings or something along those lines to get the point across.
I guess I'm just saying it feels weird that they're like
homogenous. Yes, the word of the day is homogenous.
Yeah, here's this. Like, I want a passion project from someone where, like, I had this story that needs to get out, and it's my own creation, and I'm just going to write all these things. Whereas he's like, now here's, part A of the assembly of this mechanical thing we're building, and here's the machine.
Yeah, I know, I get that, but I mean, he's also, they're adapting works. And it only feels like that because Marvel's already out. But again, like, the comic books did this back and forth. It's my only real justification for why I don't need to justify it to myself.
I guess I would say too, I'd be happy if all this stuff just went away and I never saw it again, and it would just leave room for people to say, "Hey, I've got this peripheral story where you've never heard of it, and it's not in the universe." Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know.
But the same could be said for comic books then, right? Like, okay, cool, don't write another X-Men story.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's still X-Men stories that can be written. You know what I mean? So we don't seem to shit on literature reusing characters as much as we shit on film doing it. And I've gotten in a lot of online arguments recently, specifically about being angry about fucking movies like what was just announced. There was another remake just announced, and they're using the original director from like 1978, and I'm like, this guy's directed 4 things since then. Why are you giving him another movie? Fuck, I forget what it is now. It's one of the slasher movies. Oh, it's Friday the 13th. The new Friday the 13th movie is being directed by the original director. No, that's not right. It's another movie.
Yeah, Morgo, and that's what I'm saying. They're betting big that this thing's going to work. Because if it doesn't, the investment's so huge. He's talking about a 10-year plan and keeps listing all these shows and cartoons and movies.
Yeah, I mean,
like we're gonna play some more of the video. He talks about more stuff. I'm just hopeful because he's been so good on his other stuff. But
I like seeing comic book stories come to life. And though Marvel has stagnated in some parts of what it's done, it's also set up a world that is happy to see larger than life stories that are more representative of the ones that were told in the books. Long overreaching arcs, stuff like that only comic books had done before, and Stephen King. I'm just really happy that people are putting that to a visual format. Because when I used to read a comic book for a year and a half, and it took that long to get to the end of the arc, it was exciting. It felt amazing. And it felt amazing to watch Endgame. You and I experienced a lot of it together, and it's not just nostalgia. It's the fact that we've experienced something over 10 years.
And it was a really good story, so...
Yeah, and all that we're upset about at the moment is that they're just not telling the exact stories we want them to, which is what Margot or Rusty pointed out earlier. Oh, fine, we'll just make Injustice. Are you happy now? And that's kind of the point, is that all they're doing is just not doing it exactly the way we want them to anymore, and now we're upset with it. Is how I'm trying to be a little more positive about some of this shit. Like, they've gotten a lot wrong, and I'm mad about it, but they're also just making properties.
I'm just wary, but...
I didn't love every comic book either.
Yeah. I just like James Gunn's stuff so much. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get my hopes up again.
That's true. And actually, I was speaking to my nephew today about... I'm like, why aren't you into Marvel anymore? Why don't you enjoy it as much? Because this conversation comes up a lot. And he actually had nothing to do with the actual... any of what we're talking about. It's just, everyone I like is dead. I didn't read comic books. He grew up with Iron Man, and... T'Challa is the latest character he's introduced to at time, still like the first couple phases where he was young and getting excited. He's like, I don't know who any of these people are. He doesn't know. I started to describe Stature and Patriot and the new Hawkeye and like who all these characters are. He's like, yeah, I don't know who any of these people are. I'm like, oh. And that's also unexciting for people because a lot of people stopped reading comic books by that age when they were bringing these characters out. So I guess they're just not doing exactly what we want, so we don't like it as much. Maybe. Yeah, there's a formula too. I'm trying to justify too much, I guess. I don't know. Or just trying to have a more positive outlook on it because they are putting together the stories we like. Sometimes. But back to DC. Oh my god, that's how that all started too. Back to DC.
So you watched Wakanda Forever today, didn't you?
I was hoping no one was going to ask that. Yes, I did. And I absolutely loved it in the theater, and it was really fun the first time around. But it's also, and I mean, I'm not going to give anything away because they told you it was going to be this. It's in the commercials. It's in the previews. It's a farewell letter. It's a love letter. And I mean, I've never read a love letter twice that wasn't written to me. So in that, the second watch through didn't hit as hard. But we'll see, because I'll probably obsessively watch it till Monday, where we will be joined by Drew.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's my current reassessment of it. I really enjoyed it in theater. The ending is just as impactful. The things I told you at the ending, I enjoyed just as much. I really like where they ended. It told me the story it needed to tell, and I enjoyed it. But I mean, the rewatch, there is a lot of "we love you," Chadwick Boseman, and I'm glad they did that. But when you do it in a movie, it limits the re-airing of the movie.
Dee Dee can write love letters.
Please do. No one really writes me love letters. My wife used to leave me little notes in like my luggage and stuff, or like in my, my shaving kit, because I traveled so much. So I'd look in there. Oh, I love you, honey. Like, oh, that's nice. Hide that before the hooker shows up. No, I'm kidding. So back to James Gunn. I don't know why I had to take the screen off and get real serious there for a second for that, but...
The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a...
So, who's your favorite Robin?
Beef Nips.
Seriously, like, you read some comic books, you know the different Robins, Jason Todd, Damian Wayne.
No, I never really got to that point. It was always...
Drake.
What's his name? Something Dixon.
No. Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson, sorry.
Something Dixon. Jason Todd's mine, but only because he comes back and actually murders people after he gets killed.
Beef Nips made the point that any love letter written could be read in your voice.
Oh, shit. Please, can we just leave my voice out of it?
No.
It creeps me out. It does.
Even if you never make another video, there's so much footage online.
Oh, yeah.
There'll always be enough samples.
Very true. But, sorry. Are you excited to see the potential of a later life Batman story? He already has a son. This is post Justice League.
I'm always in favor of stories more set in the future, where you're like, okay, it's not like I know that this is their younger selves and they're going to be alive in 10 years. Like, yes, I like it when there's people's kids or their things have changed. Yes.
I made a joke last night on the small screen stream that I'm going to reuse tonight, but like, if I have to see the fucking pearls hit the ground one more goddamn time, I'll never watch another DC movie. I'm out. Same thing with, like, I don't want to, like, stop killing Uncle... Yeah, I was going to say, stop fucking killing Uncle Ben. Thank you for killing Aunt May. I appreciate that very much, because I didn't want to see Uncle Ben die again. I don't want, like, at least make it a new piece of jewelry. Modernize it. Like, can she drop her iPhone? Anything else but these fucking...
I don't want to see it again. I want to see Batman with his kid.
Yeah, like, can you picture the pearls?
Yes.
Can you picture the pearls 7 different ways because you've actually seen them that many times now, including comics? Just fucking retarded. I'm done. I'm done with the pearls.
This is like people covering Wonderwall. You're like, okay, enough. I never want to see another person play the song. Except you like Wonderwall, don't you?
I do, and I haven't been on Twitch as long as you, so I've only seen people play in the bar, and then you're drunk singing along. So Wonderwall doesn't have the same
come
thing
on.
to me. Did not appreciate that. Oh, did I say something wrong?
I'm not sure. We didn't catch the chat in time to know what it applied to.
And there's about a 30-second delay, so it wouldn't matter.
Scotty, I was wondering that too. Not all these shows are going to be cartoons, right?
No.
Because he's not
This is
listed.
live action. Like, Booster Gold's going to be live action. Batman.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Hot Aunt May.
Okay, sorry. I just appreciate not seeing Uncle Ben die, and if they had to kill a parental figure, that they killed Aunt May instead of... We don't even know what happened to Uncle Ben, so we could always still get that movie, and I'd be more pissed off. I'd be like, come on, don't just retcon Uncle Ben.
Morgo, I think he was saying that there will be earlier in the video he's saying there will be separate things that are part of, what did he call it? The other verse?
The Neververse.
Neververse?
Elseworld. Sorry,
Elseworld?
Never. This isn't a Minecraft channel. We're talking about DC right now. Elseworld. So anything that took place, like Matt Reeves' Batman and that trilogy, the Arkham series coming off that's based on that, and the Commissioner Gordon in it, and the Penguin series, the Todd Phillips Joker, Teen Titans Go, which is a game, Teen Titans the cartoon, all of that will be in the Elseworld.
So you said Batman will be there with his son in this stuff?
So the Batman version we're getting is going to be based on the Bold and the Brave.
Because that would be a compressed timeline, or at least advanced timeline, wouldn't it?
Well,
to get to when he's got a son?
No, I think they're just going to start there.
So then it's an advanced timeline.
And I mean, we saw Steve Rogers at the end. Oh no, his post-credit is when he wakes up. We knew Steve Rogers was going to be in Avengers, but his first movie took place in 1942. So it's like movies don't have to all take place in the same section of time, as long as they're part of the same universe.
Chad has brought up Minecraft.
How to get to the gold machine?
Rusty, take the portal by the Stay Lifted pub, the nether portal near Bacon's place, and there's a sign on a diagonal nether highway that says, "To the Crimson Forest." You can't get lost. Just follow it, and you'll pop out at another portal that has signs to take you right there. It's very close by. You'll see it.
Back to Minecraft.
And also, the armor trims have an update. I have heard now leather will be... you can trim leather armor with stuff now as well. I'm very excited.
Fantastic.
Because you can dye your leather different colors, so now you have a ton of trim options with different colors. Anyway.
Well, I was just going to go back, or I'm not going to do it now.
Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from...
So again, this is not everything's going to be live action or cartoon. Like, there'll also be TV shows, so HBO Max series, movies, games, and cartoons.
And with the intent that the same character will be voiced by the same person, no matter if it's a cartoon, video game, or...
The same actor does it across the board now.
Which I like.
Yeah, so I mean, like, a lot of video games have some high-end actors in them just doing voice work because gaming's become so part of pop culture. Yes, take a ride at Albuquerque.
I'll put instructions in the Discord later, Rusty.
You should now name the gold machine Albuquerque.
Doesn't have a name.
Last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to...
So, I mean, we're getting in spades DC's edge through James Gunn's filter. And I think that's a good combination. He knows how to make it a little darker. He knows how to add humor when he needs to. And he knows when to just fucking kill someone and destroy your heart and soul.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying I like pretty much everything he makes.
And when he says, all right, this person's working, like, again, James Gunn is writing maybe a little too much of this. Like, he's doing the Commandos, Superman, he's a writer on Waller, and he's the overall... I just like who's at the helm, I guess, and I think we'll see something new. And of course, I'm glad Marvel beat DC to this, but DC also has to do this.
Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the...
Morgo asked about HBO Max. Like, it doesn't exist in other countries, so...
Oh, right. We watch it on just HBO. So whatever streaming platform has HBO as an option, which is Crave here in Canada, so probably Hulu in the States.
But what about a place like Russia?
Do you have a pegged leg, a parrot on your shoulder, or a boat for the high seas?
I'm not sure Morgo has a computer that would let him download torrents or...
Oh.
I'm not exactly sure about that, Morgo, but...
I don't know. I gladly look that up.
I think Morgo uses his phone for most stuff.
All right. Movie Joy.
A website, Movies Joy.
Which we can send you a link to.
It's an illegal site, but...
It works on most phones. It works on like there's some ads here and there, but if you go to full screen right away and install ad block, you'll be fine.
Disney, Amazon, Netflix. I don't think it'll be on.
Oh, depending on if those are the only three available in your area, most likely Amazon would have worked out a deal to have it on as an additional pay. They do that a lot with properties outside of countries that don't have things like Crave. But if not. Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. Still very Western. Tell you what, we will air it all on, and I'll just admit to illegal downloads in Discord. I'll watch it with you in Discord.
Either on a Saturday or maybe
any given Sunday. I feel like I'm developing a stutter, so I should cure that with some medicine.
I do feel like it's time.
Been a long time. Sorry, we're talking about. I knew this would take like an hour to break down everything. So,
was this DC announcement expected, or did he just kind of come out of the blue and say, "Hey, guess what"?
He promised an announcement by the end of January, and then did it. Sorry, he promised an announcement at the end of January, and then did it on January 31st.
Well, at least he stuck to his word for that.
Yeah. Yeah, so Margos, we'll either get you a website where you can watch it, and if that doesn't work, we will literally watch it in Discord with you. Oh, no, it's Space Bacon that likes Greg Egan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The author.
Yeah. All right, so let's finish up with this. I think there's only one or two properties
left to talk about. Don't worry, Margo. We'll make sure you can see it somehow.
The origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me.
Yeah, the rest of us are just telling us how great he is. So here's a couple of questions I have for both us and chat. And what I want to talk about this, and then we're going to move on to our TV shows. Okay?
I got a question.
No, please, go ahead.
How was he able to marry Pam from The Office?
What? He's not. He's married to that Holland girl.
Yeah, but he was married at some point. It's like, how'd you do that, dude?
Yeah, awesome. He was actually married to her?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Cool. I mean, she seems like a funny, nice person, so he seems like a normal human being.
Oh, it's just she's a real catch, so... Good for you, James Gunn.
I mean, I wouldn't call her like, woo, like the hottest chick alive, but...
At the time, she was pretty close. You didn't watch Swamp Thing, did you? Like, there's a new Swamp Thing of some sort, isn't there?
No.
Well,
No, I
what's
didn't.
Morgo talking about then?
Swamp ass thing.
Huh?
Like when you get swamp ass. I'm guessing he's making a joke about getting sweaty.
No, there's like he watched the first season of the Swamp Thing. They're gonna
His
repeat-
comment says related to swamp ass thing. Oh, Morgo. Sorry, I was reading Scotty's comment. I was getting stuck on Scotty's comment. Sorry.
No, Scotty. He's related to Swamp Weed Thing.
Are the properties related? Yes, they're the same character. Are the shows gonna like? I don't think so.
Swamp Weed's the best weed. What you want to do is get your quads and mix them together. Yeah, there's a DC Swamp Thing show.
No, I know. Sorry, I got stuck on Scotty saying swamp ass thing. I thought he was making a joke about, and I thought that's what you were talking about. Trying, and then I thought you were trolling me, and then I finally read Morgo's comment, so I'm all caught up.
We are lady.
Sorry. Back to Morgo's. Yeah, same character, but no, I think he's rebooting that character, but these most of these shows are like things are coming out in 2025, so it'll be about a 4-year period by that point.
The special Zazzy Touch. I'm not even sure what that is.
There's a special Zazzy Touch? Like the Midas touch?
Or were you talking about a special
I wouldn't
touch
want
from
Midas
James
to touch
Gunn?
me.
No, I wouldn't want that either.
No. What was your question?
Maybe you were talking about a special James Gunn touch or something? I don't know.
No. Will DC keep it dark-esque, or do you think with James Gunn at the helm they're going to lighten it up a lot and get that blend that Guardians had? I asked a question with 2 options, and you said, mm-hmm. Will they keep it dark or lighten it up? DC in the future.
I don't think they'll go...
Good. Sorry for a second. I thought your brain broke and you just didn't understand what I was asking. I thought the Windows fucking thing was... Oh, we need that. We'll put the sound...
Would you say that Peacemaker was darker or lighter than the Zack Snyder stuff? Because I feel they're going to go...
way lighter. Way
Okay,
lighter.
so that's my answer then.
Like, wait. Snyder was dark,
but they didn't accomplish
Peacemaker
it well.
was cynical while being funny. So I think Peacemaker was darker, just Snyder just decided to light everything dark too.
Yeah.
Like Snyder was dark with no reprieve, no reprise, no stop.
No, but the characters were miserable.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
everyone
Like it was
angry.
non-stop, where Peacemaker is cynical as
Yeah.
fuck, but there's like a little silver lining on each cynicism.
So I'm saying they're staying on this side of it.
Okay. And next is, what do you think they're like? I know you don't know comic books as well, and you're not massively into it, but given all the information you have about the Flash and what we've known in the past, all the characters are supposed to be in it, all the people that have come out of it, dropped out. What do you think they're going to put in front of us this summer?
It seems like they're going to wipe the universe.
So
is
you
what
think
he's saying.
that fuck it, put Flashpoint Paradox and just
Some big event or disaster that either resets a timeline or sends everyone to an alternate universe, because he's kind of mentioning that's what he's planning on doing.
Yeah. So
by this summer, I think they're going to try and get everything reset and go, okay, I'm James Gunn. Now everything's going to follow my lead.
Yeah, and I kind of think that too. I don't know what their plan is with Blue Beetle, because they haven't released a lot about it and haven't they haven't really talked about it.
Who's Blue Beetle? What does he do? Or is it a girl? I don't even know.
I don't really remember.
Okay.
Like it's not. Oh wait, Blue Beetle's like part of the Tick universe.
Do you know what his power is or anything like that?
No, what's the Tick's power?
I don't know.
I don't remember. He's got the strength of a tick, so he can jump high? I don't know. Did you know crabs can jump like 3 feet?
No.
Like crotch lice.
Oh, ew. No.
Weird, right? Think about they're 2 feet or something, but like given the comparative size of their body, they're like they're like the highest jumper on the planet or something like that. Anyway, sorry. Now, past the Flash. With Gunn writing the new cartoon Creature Commandos and the Waller and a Superman and a writer.
I'm already overwhelmed how many shows you're listing.
Yeah, like, do you think we're gonna get gunned out? Do you think it's gonna be like James Gunning all over a James Gunn feature, or do you think he's gonna be able to sparse himself out? Because like Feige doesn't do this. Feige doesn't write. He produces. He oversees. He puppet masters from a high. And Gunn's like, no, let me get my hands dirty.
My answer to this is, I went into Marvel Phase 4 cynical, and I feel like it turned out to be the right way to go because it wasn't that great. I'm going to be hopeful with Gunn because of his track record and just be like, in answer to these questions, he's going to do it right.
Okay.
Because he's done everything else right, and maybe I'll be sick of it and I'll say, oh, he messed it all up. I hate it. But I just
you heard it here. He is full Gunn. He's all Gunn all the time. Those are my three main questions on.
I can kind of picture him now, Rusty. Now that you said the Aztec thing,
I don't really remember him.
I've kind of seen a picture in the past of him. Yeah.
All right. But yeah, that's kind of all we have on DC at this moment. As these properties are coming out, including The Flash and Shazam, I hopefully will be getting back to doing small segments about their history in comics and stuff like we were doing. And yeah, we'll continue to cover all of this.
It seems like Gunn has everything set up for him to succeed. Like it's for him to fuck this up.
Yeah, here's every tool. You've gotten everything you've wanted.
Just don't fuck it up. All you have to do is, it's going to be an easy layup. Just don't.
Yeah, I don't remember what parody movie it is, but like a guy is given the football, everything's set in line, but he just runs to the other end zone with it.
Or I'm thinking an empty basketball, he can run up and do a dunk. Don't do a 900 and try and put it between your legs and then slam it, because you're going to mess it up.
Now, if Guardians 3.5 sucks, will that change your opinion on how you're going to view the DC universe?
Yes, because he hasn't done anything that sucked to me that I know of. So for him to mess up right before starting this much bigger thing, I'd lose a lot of faith.
Fair enough. I do agree.
But then the Christmas thing he did was great. And you know what? I should rewatch it again because...
That's why I call it 3.5, because technically 3 came out.
That's why I keep playing on the channel 2 the Christmas song from it. Because there's so many good things in this movie. Or in this little Christmas special.
Now, the Christmas special being a Christmas special, yes, I cannot wait for Guardians. And we're going to break down a lot of what we think is going to happen in the Guardians as we get to it.
That and Deadpool are my favorite Marvel series.
So, Guardians 3 played real close to that line of James Gunning all over against James Gunn property, because James Gunn uses those two characters for jokes a lot, Mantis and Drax. However, by the end of it, he used that whole film, or that whole special, to change how he uses Mantis. Because Mantis was part of the bad guy, did one right thing, has been jokes since, right? Like, oh, get it, she doesn't understand people, just like Drax. Like, the whole, nothing gets over my head, I would jump and catch it. But they changed her use to reveal that, you know, apparently she's one of the children. And so, like, them together could bring back the celestial powers. So on and so forth. Like, we might, that whole take, like, we have celestials in this. We know that they're there. They're pissed off. And those two's connection, I think, are going to be huge in the coming movie. I think it'll also kill both of them.
I hope not. And Didi, I agree with you. Like, Drax and Mantis together are really fun because their particular weirds work together well.
But it's too much to just have them. And it was too much of them in a row. But I think that they did that because she's...
That's why that Christmas special was the right length. Because you're like, okay, that's just enough of them. Not too much. Anything longer, I don't want to see just them.
She had a perfect arc, though. He wrote her to change by the end of it. And I think that's going to mean I think he needed this special so that he could use her differently for the next movie. Is what I'm trying to say. Still can't not talk about Marvel, no matter how hard we try. So yeah, I do think James Gunn's going to do well.
What's the next Marvel property coming?
Ant-Man. We have tickets.
Right, yeah.
Well, technically for us, the next property came out at 3 o'clock this morning, and we're talking about it on Monday, which is Wakanda Forever, which we completely forgot when we set up Bacon-a-thon. I mean, 6 degrees from Stay Lifted. Yeah, so on to our shows. The actual topics of the normal topics of our Wednesday nights. Well, I would like to introduce you guys to the show the way that we got introduced to the second episode, with this brilliant opening to Mr. Robot.
Season 4, episode 2 starts with this little segment we're going to show, and it's freaking amazing.
And to be honest, it's one of the cleanest expo dumps I've ever seen a TV show do and not feel forced and horrible.
Yeah.
Because the show uses this mechanic or mechanism other times. Like, the show has used that gritty, well, the way the film style we're about to see of how it's cut together, they've used that before. Whenever they're using the F Society stuff, this is the style that's used. So,
or we should just let everyone know we're switching to talking about Mr. Robot, the TV show now, and we're going to be talking about season 4. So it's going to be spoilers and stuff.
If you're behind on this show that ended 10 years ago, we're sorry, and here are some spoilers.
Symbolic breach in the structure that separated millions and claimed hundreds of lives.
That was 1989. The world was up for grabs. All the money, power, natural resources, hell, even borders were negotiable. Soviet Union, a great world superpower, was collapsing. And whereas some saw freedom, the young, imaginative Minister Zhang saw possibility, a new world order. So Zhang formed an investment group called Deus. The goal? Bring together the world's wealthiest, most powerful men to consolidate control and manipulate global events for profit. Zhang courted dignitaries, world leaders, oligarchs, businessmen, and he was a damn good salesman. The potential profit outweighed anyone's moral reservations, which was proven true in an early endeavor, the first Gulf War.
Something is happening outside. Skies over Baghdad have been illuminated.
A few backroom deals, a promise here, a bribe there, like that. The Deus Group was rich on oil and had a foothold in the military-industrial sector. With the right players in place, running the world turned out to be surprisingly easy. I have to say, business was booming. With his network of hackers and terrorists in place, Zhang suggested the Deus Group look in a new direction. Industrial espionage was yesterday's work. What better way to gain leverage on everyone than if everyone was connected?
During my service in the Congress, I took the initiative in creating the Internet.
The United States was a test case. Americans seemed the most ready to give their lives over to a box. Without hesitation, everyone jumped online.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Offered everything they had. Bank accounts, electric bills, medical records, DNA data, baby pictures. We staged the biggest coup in human civilization, and the whole world volunteered to take part, opted in, checked the box, and clicked I agree. With the Deus Group behind it, E-Corp became the world's biggest front. With every new device we rolled out, there was a new way for the Deus Group to manipulate the public. But as the world embraced the digital age, we began to see that Zhang had been perfectly positioning himself to take total control. Zhang's billion-dollar machine. He clandestinely built it under the Washington Township nuclear power plant. The Deus Group now understood we were working for Zhang, not with him. His pet project, which we'd belittled for years, had been the singular purpose of the Deus Group all along.
literally one. It was like 3 seconds longer. Anyways, E-Corp. That is who's no. Zazzy works for Snazza.
I'm also a freelance contractor for.
There you go.
The highest mercenary drill.
Bongo time for Boba.
Welcome in, Boba Banks. Good to see you.
Bongo time for Bobuzz.
Burr Binks.
Wait. Is this a Leahy situation? Are we being messed with again?
It's Leahy, yes. We are Leahy.
No. Is Boba both Bobas?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Boba Booey is...
An entirely different person. Okay.
Yes. But
see, Leahy's got me not trusting the whole internet now. I don't trust anyone on Twitch. It's all just one account.
Well, how good was that?
Dee Dee's the only real person because I've seen her stream. Everyone else hides on their stream. No one else shows their pictures.
All stream we've been talking about AI and deep fakes. And you're like, I've seen a video of Dee Dee Marie. Oh, wow. Like, it could very well be a Beef Nips deep fake.
So Beef Nips is Leahy, so Leahy deep fake.
Yeah, I'm just referring to the Beef Nips aspect of We Are Leahy.
The Beef Nips skin.
The Beef Nips bot? Yeah.
No, because it'd be like gaming, right? How do you change the appearance of your character even though they're all the same base code? It's skins.
And see, that's what the MC aspect of Leahy would say as well.
Oh, right. Sorry, you hadn't spoken in a while. Only one is a Boba Binks. Oh, I said it like it too. I just...
One side.
I said one so properly right away. You are a real MC.
Bongo time for Boba.
But we're all just NPCs in a 13-year-old's handheld game.
Is that your vision of our simulation?
Yeah.
We're just in some kid's video game?
Yep.
I think that some universe said, hey, we need to do an ad for like erectile dysfunction pills. And there's going to be some blades of grass in the ad. But we're really advanced, so we're just going to simulate a universe to calculate how the blades of grass blow in the wind. And that's our universe. We're the blades of grass in an ad for erectile dysfunction in a bigger universe. Something horrible like that. And they're probably not even good pills. They probably make you sick or something.
What movie featured a steamy pottery scene between Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze?
Never seen it, but Ghost.
There we go. Who met and later married Christy Brinkley when she starred in the music video for Uptown Girl?
I don't know.
Billy Joel. What Cheers star was nominated for 6 Emmys but never won?
I'm going to say Ted Danson.
George Wendt. Norm.
Oh, okay.
What boxing legend retired after 20 years in 1981?
Jake LaMotta?
No. Name any other one.
What year did they retire?
1981.
Muhammad Ali? No, it's still too... I don't know.
No, it is Muhammad Ali.
Oh, okay.
Written 1981 film. What 1981 film was based on a book written by Joan Crawford's daughter, Mummy Dearest? I didn't mean to read the answer. I was halfway through, so sorry. But I don't think you would have gotten it. It's just a guess.
Oh, Boba, that's cool. That's exciting. That it just sucks too when you got everything except the hard drive or One Piece. And I don't think I've caught any of your streams. Because, yeah, I have not seen what you look like, Boba, yet. That's cool to know that you're out there.
I thought you showed me Boba's channel.
I don't think I've seen it, and to be honest, I don't think I've given Boba a follow, so I need to do that. I like to do it, though, when people are live, so that they get the notification. And they say hi. And it's cool when something happens live like that. I like to see it.
Does the poll keep coming up on its own?
Yes.
That's awesome.
No,
I don't remember. I didn't remember it does that. Why am I never allowed to like anything? No, it's not. It's so mean. So judgmental.
Because it's been annoying me.
Oh.
That's why. Me judgmental? I don't believe that.
So, what did you think of this episode?
And thank you, Dee. What did I think of Mr.
This episode,
yeah, every time I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is why it was my favorite show. Like, it's just got a feel to it. Although I'm noticing that they're doing basically zero hacking. In the early seasons, part of the excitement was the realistic portrayal of programming and all that. Now it's just so far removed from that. It's not part of the show.
Well, they're just getting to that, right? Like, the end of this episode kind of brings us to him clearly getting his hack partner back. So almost like we're getting the Avengers going here. He's going to have, I honestly don't remember if anybody else comes in or anything, but I know now he's got her. So I think it gets back to it. It should get back to it now, right? Like, they're setting up a plan.
Okay.
This plan clearly involves some hacking.
I just know
what do they need to do? They realize that the person that did the money that they needed the codes from was murdered by his sister in season 2.
That was kind of crazy.
Season 3? Yeah.
In the previously on Mr. Robot, I'm like, why are they showing all this old stuff? And then you find out, oh, she was the liaison for the bank.
The way you hate previews, I hate previously ons, because I'm like, oh, I know what's going to happen in this whole story now.
I don't remember, though. Like, I know what you mean. If I'm familiar with the show, I hate it. Because it gives you clues about what they're going to talk about. But I needed this one.
Sorry, I'm just missing a picture. It doesn't really matter. We don't need it right now. It's just...
But I'd like to grab screenshots of any computer monitors or things like that. And there's just none of them in the new...
Not yet. We are only 2 episodes in, and it will... I'm guessing it has to ramp up. Like, they have to get everything... This seems like they're setting up, like, what do you call it? When you have to go get a... what's it? You know what I mean? Like, there's... It seems like a what's it journey coming up.
A MacGuffin?
Yeah, thank you.
That's usually, hey, well...
No, what do they call it? Like, where you have to go get the thing, and you have to then go get this thing, like an Ocean's 11 setup. Like they do in season... Because season 1, they don't really tell you how anything's happening. You have to kind of find things out retroactively, right?
Yeah.
Season 2 is all about the outcome of that, and season 3 is all about the repair of that. But in season 3, again, you see him kind of building a team and getting to... Like, you see him building the plan and getting to the end of it rather than it being very revealed the way that season 1 reveals it. And I think he's doing that in this one now, where you're going to see... We're going to be part of the plan as it goes, like we were in season 3, rather than being what the hell happened.
All it seems to me is they're setting up the big showdown between him and White Rose, and I'm not sure how much hacking is going to be a part of it versus them outsmarting each other. Without really showing the way that...
I genuinely don't remember. It's been so long, so I don't have insight.
Good. But yes, and it's driving me crazy that I don't know what White Rose's big machine is.
Well, what do you think it is? What could it be?
Well, since it seems, especially this little clip says something about the internet and connected, and it's this giant secret machine that she needs to have operational. That's all she cares about. It's going to be like AI that can manipulate the whole internet or hack it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not nodding yes or no. I have no idea.
Yeah, the thing to go get the thing, Dee Dee.
So you're right though. Like, we're not getting the core of the show. Wasn't original. Like, when you find out what he's fighting against the whole time, you figure out that the show's not about hacking. The show's about corporate greed and how to avenge it.
Well, and so many characters have been hurt by corporate malfeasance.
Yeah.
Like getting cancer or injured at work, and they just don't care. They're just there for the money. They try and cover it up or pay people off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like this show's overreaching, or the overall arc is about greed in the world and the need to fight against it.
So I just saw both MC and Boba Banks got Muhammad Ali right from the card.
But I was trying to remember his original name.
Cassius Clay.
Thank you. I couldn't in the moment. It really bothered me. So yeah, I Like the fact that they'd use Deus. What do you think about the Deus group?
I hadn't noticed what you pointed out, where it's so close to the word Davos.
Yeah, it definitely has a WEF feel to it, right?
Yep, and they showed WEF in the footage. They showed Koch brothers.
Obama, Saddam Hussein, Putin,
some
a couple SARS, a couple other things. So like
princes and stuff.
Yeah, like people on all sides of all political spectrums, because
it's cool show.
That's the truth though, and that's the thing no one talks about enough in the world, and we don't see any news covering anywhere, is that all the people that tell us to fight and act like they're fighting each other get together for coffee at massive summits and meetings all the time, and then go home and tell their people to fight each other. Do you know what I mean? And like that's what that whole video really brought, like, kind of rang familiar to me, and what they're trying to point out, and it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
And that's where Mr. Robot is really dark and hard to get into deep, especially when we're a channel that attempts to stay relatively middle line on everything. So we don't want to, we're supposed to be here for fun, but this show talks about a lot of real world fucking problems.
Yep.
So it'll be almost impossible to discuss some of these without at least diving into their real world counterparts. And I don't think it's going to get better. Although it is nice to see, like, because when we used to joke and talk about, my idea was that there's 7 to 13, but an uneven number, obviously, an odd number. Like, just this shadowy board of people in cloaks, like an inside job, that are just doing this stuff. And then at the end of season 2, you see a boardroom with that. You're like, oh, fuck, that's real shit.
Oh, and I want to mention what happens at the end of this episode that left me saying, what the fuck? Where there's a little boy in an amazing...
Not a little boy.
C-suite... That's Elliot? Or...
Yeah.
And there's a character saying... They imply there's a third personality.
A fifth. So
wait, why are you saying fifth? There's him and Mr. Robot in the
that's
same
not
moment.
it. That's why he can see his mom sometimes, and why he can see his younger version of himself. Just like Moon Knight does that. These are all people that have taken control at different times. They're all levels of protection for the real Elliot. You've seen him be almost the boy when he's there's a part of season 3 where he's walking around with himself when he's...
But I'm talking about, I could see some of those just being conversations he's having in his head versus somebody taking over his body.
Nothing with him is just conversations he's having in his head. These are flushed out personalities that exist inside him.
But we've never seen anyone take control except Mr. Robot.
Well, we have. And that's what this episode was setting up. We've
now have been told there was a time where there was somebody else.
And I think if we go back through,
he had.
There's other hints. Because again, I haven't watched this in a couple of years, and you haven't watched these episodes in a long time. But I think there are other hints.
I'm sure he left
where they argue about something that's just quick, and you're like, wait, what? It doesn't matter, and they move on, and because it's...
You're right. They probably showed things that afterwards you can go back and check.
Yeah, like this show...
But they didn't make it explicit.
Not yet. But now the explicit parts where it's his mom and his younger self all kind of come into play when they're telling those stories, though. But you're right. They're sounding boards, not take over, at least that we've seen. But
oh, and I like how now sometimes when he's having conversations with people, both him and Mr. Robot are there, and one of them is talking, and sometimes they're even completing each other's sentences or thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's a cool representation of how the two sides of him are now working together.
Now, with what Elliot has, it's called dissociative identity disorder. Typically, in the real world, this is representative of a protective layer that the person typically just goes, or will go into a fugue-like state where regular tasks as in like eating, going to the bathroom, and bathing are possible, but they're not really there in a normal functional way, and that is a protective form to stop the hurting of the psyche, and that usually takes place from trauma as a child. And that's exactly how they're setting this up. They're not typically this weird other personality that is in like the movie Split. No, that's not how. That's such a 37 personalities that all have keywords. When you really read about how these things work, these are extreme defensive mechanisms. Yeah. That's it. They're defensive mechanisms taken to a pathological level. So when I saw this episode the first time, and even this time, because I don't remember what happens, I think the actual personality is the real Elliot. I think Elliot went into a protective state years ago, and these two have been fighting for control of the real host.
So we've never really seen who he actually is yet.
Yeah, that's my theory. That was my theory the first time I watched it.
All right.
And I mean, I get it. We've watched so much since I don't remember what actually happens. And this show is fairly complicated half the time, so it's hard to stay on top.
But then that brings up the question, I think, that sometimes I have about goat versus fish, which is, if you spend the most time being a certain person, isn't that who you are? And everything else is just...
Well, that applies to even the idea of self, and if
I'm just wondering.
Work every day hard to be a better person by doing one good deed every single day. After a few years, is that me forcing myself to do a good deed, or have I become the person that just does good deeds all the time? What level does that become who I am and not what I'm trying to do? And I don't know. I have no idea. No, Michael is the real person. Alan, what is his name?
Michael Allen.
Michael
CPA
Allen
is goat versus fish.
Which we share a middle name, because I don't think that's his last name, or maybe it is.
I don't know.
No idea.
Man, if your name's Michael Allen, though, you don't really have to worry too much about being doxxed, because there's got to be a million Michael Allens in the world.
I'm Barry Allen. I don't run very fast.
Yeah, but you've got a different last name, and it marks you as more unique. My name is very unique.
Oh no, literally can't Google me if you use those two names.
Your name's too common.
Oh, it's the name of the Flash.
Yeah.
You have to get through thousands of pages of the Flash.
But just your first name and last name would narrow it down a lot. Michael Allen, you're not going to narrow that down.
I come up in first name, last name. Inside of 7 people. I've talked to one of them. Goat intern. I do like that the times I've seen him when he talks about goat versus fish, he brings up the little puppet and gives it a personality, so that it seems more like goat versus fish is his roommate.
Oh, he says, goat versus fish isn't here. Here it is.
Yeah.
His little cutout on a stick.
And
he has some good other characters and voices. Like Stong Sky or Jesus. Jesus is like, hey, yo, I'm fucking Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I see him. Yeah. He's kind of brilliant.
I'll turn some water into fucking wine. I love his...
I watched his stuff around Christmas when he was using Jesus a lot.
Yeah, me too.
It was
great. Big fan of the goat versus fish.
But you're right. At what point, who is Elliot? And is it based on which personality is controlling him? And who's had the control the longest? Or is there an alpha Elliot?
I guess it would be, though...
I'm using alpha correctly in this place, not as a masculine thing, but as in the first.
At some point, he wasn't born this way, we assume, right? At some point he fractured.
They seem to try and wrap it around the window, but then in this season, in this episode, when his mom, after he's with his sister because his mother has died, she brings up that he'd had episodes already. So it seems like there's another trauma, or yes, he's just always been this way.
Because I'm assuming there must have been a main person that started out before the splits. And so that would be who should have control of his body. If you're going to cure him and get rid of the alternate personalities.
Yeah, I don't know who would be considered an alt Elliot and who would be...
Well, we don't know which one...
Alpha Elliot.
...was growing up before the trauma.
We can probably guess it's not Christian Slater.
Yeah.
He's definitely the protector, as the father should have been. And then we find out that in season 3 that his dad didn't throw him out a window.
It was him jumping.
He jumped and fell out the window.
And blamed his dad for
Just like he jumped off the dock. Like, there was no... Did someone throw him off a dock, or they use that against him?
It showed Mr. Robot hitting him on the back and pushing him off.
Yeah, right.
But then he points out, hey, I'm you. I didn't push you. It's us.
Yeah. They do a handful of Tyler Durden-esque things, and I also enjoy that too, right? Because I love that film. I like the whole fight yourself thing. Like that. The right actor can make it very convincing.
You're breaking rule 1.
Oh, right. No, I'm breaking rule 2.
Yes. You're breaking both rules.
I am a rule breaker.
Heartbreaker. Rule breaker.
Soul shaker. So, what was your favorite scene in this episode? Because we're going through these...
Oh, that clip you showed.
Yeah, the opening
100%. Because honestly, the rest of the episode was just... wasn't a letdown to me, but I'm like, oh, that thing was so strong. Like, I was hoping there'd be more specifically just riding on that, but definitely that. Breaking the law. Boba. I'm feeling like I need another bong, and this one's for you, Boba. I can't believe we have 2 Bobas in our channel now.
That is kind of awesome.
Boba Booey and Boba Binks. I was thinking about the odds of that the other day, and it's pretty low. I've never really known another Boba.
No. See, now you got me thinking again. That we got more Leahys. Just make both Bobas mods as well. Yeah. Just assuming that they're Leahy.
And I've seen Zazie Sprax around Twitch. So there's 2 Zazzies, me and them. Oh, and then there's... I've seen another couple berries as well on Twitch. You'd assume there would be a few, at least a few berries. Bit more common name.
Yeah, hell, that'll make sense. So, I enjoyed doing brackets last week.
You mean when we picked different horror movies and did them round robin style?
Yeah. I just threw superhero shit in this one because of DC, and I figured we were getting to the end of Robot 2 and going into our other shows.
We barely talked about Mr. Robot.
I was going to answer the exact same as you to my favorite scene.
It was that?
And we talked about all the relevant information inside the episode. Because the real problem is that this episode was filled with a lot of long scenes with silence because it was somber. His mom died.
We didn't talk about the FBI agent who...
Oh, right. I apologize.
Who gave a fake story to the FBI because her family's been threatened by White Rose.
So...
I hate this taxidermist chick. Oh, I want to see her.
And that's the thing, like, they push her so hard to do the...
Oh, really, Rusty? I didn't know. I haven't seen Metalocalypse, but that's kind of funny.
It's fun. Like, I used to catch it on Cartoon Network at, like, 2 in the morning. But, like, I was stoned or tired or half awake, so...
You might be right about that, Boba Binks. But then, I don't like the idea
He's secretly Bezos.
I don't like the idea of We Are Bezos. I don't want anything to do with that guy. Even
so our first matchup. No, okay. So this character, I think that's the point. A, you're supposed to hate her, and B, it's so funny because they're actually being a little smart in the way they set the episode up. Because she needed to do the interview so that she could be okay and he could write her off, and he did. He probably said, "All right, she's good. I have some other questions," but just in case, they still threw him off a building.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they still got her name cleared in the episode. So, no.
Boba!
Although we do often say, bow to the mouse and our Lord and Savior, Jeff.
You say all these things. I never say that.
I mean, I feel like if we go back and check all of it, and the times I've gotten you to jokingly join in on it, we could probably see there's an uptick in...
I'm not sure I've even said it jokingly because...
If we pray to Bezos, we get followers. No, I'm joking. But yeah, they're being really smart and like...
Do you think Bezos watches Twitch? Like he has a couple channels he follows, or
I picture him sitting on a toilet yelling at people to do evil things in front of him. Maybe while he has a belt around his neck.
He really does seem like Lex Luthor without the desire to improve humanity.
And a bunch of props from the set of Kung Fu.
He watches Amaranth sleep.
Did you get that joke?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks for the Vidu MC. Do we have any of that Monster left?
We are done. We were out of Monster. I drank one yesterday because we were supposed to
No, it's
film
fine.
all night long. And then we almost froze to death, so we came in and we've put a halt on filming for a couple days.
He definitely follows Amaranth. I almost subscribed to Amaranth because I want to use her emotes because it's worth a laugh, and she probably has a million emotes.
All right, we're going to play a video then, and I will arrange the liquid. Oh wait, no, we have videos from our shows tonight. I don't have another Mr. Robot one, but okay, we didn't talk about Paradise PD last week, so I'm going to play a video to summarize what happened while I get us drinks, okay?
Or you can put up YouTube. I'll put up a quick video.
What's wrong with this one?
All right, there.
New World Order. 9/11 was an outside job. Fake news, false flags, chemtrails.
Okay, I'm not sure what to make of this. It appears that a black Trump supporter has mounted a morbidly obese Muslim transgender member of the NRA while she's performing an abortion on a pro-life, pro-gay Nazi. We here at Fox support parts of this.
I don't... I'm not... The rainbow is good, but not on a swastika, right? Can someone please connect this to Russia? Anybody! My God, I think they just broke cable news.
Confused. Can't inflame issues. Must mislead the masses. I can't twist to fit agenda.
Go to commercial. Go to commercial.
Welcome back. We can pay off that bid.
Autoplay. Every time. Every time. It's still going. Why is this always such a problem?
Because of that.
No, but I mean, I'm always noticing this is going to happen, and then every time it's like...
Yeah, you didn't turn it off when you were over here starting it.
No, I did not.
This is all your fault. I wasn't even up here. I didn't start it. I have no idea what's going on.
Uh-huh. Pro. That's right.
I have never, ever accused myself of being professional at anything.
I lost it too, Didi, and Beef Nips was kind enough. We ran into each other in Thug Shells, and he got me another Thug Shell sub. Thank you again, Beef Nips. Bongo time for Beef Nips.
Bongo time for Beef Nips, indeed.
I would say the dolphin is my favorite Twitch emote right now. Psycho Stick used to have a twerking shark I liked a little better, but it got removed against their will.
Mine is still Shocktress and Garbage Gamer. Pretty much for all my favorite emotes, I just need to stay subscribed to Leahy.
Oh, Shocktress's electricity ball?
No, Leahy's Shocktress headbanging in the car. Is that not Shocktress?
No, that's Vinny.
Sorry, Vinny then. My apologies. Sorry.
Oh, Beef Nips, that's a good emote too, though, I gotta say. Oh, Didi, that's not bad. And which place can't you handle, Morgo? We talked about a couple, I guess.
I'm not logged in for that. So I have another bracket to do tonight.
A round robin of asking chat, which
literally called brackets.
Yeah, all right.
So, since we talked about DC earlier, we're going to do some DC versus Marvel. So, I mean, not every bracket's going to make as much sense, but they'll all work out in the end. So, Iron Man versus Batman. That's our first one. Who is the better character? Who's your favorite character versus?
Well, there's so many Batmans. It's a little hard.
I know, but you're gonna take a collection or collectively. Which one's better? Who's your favorite character? You're taking in Robert Downey Jr., the comic books, the cartoons, Batman.
I guess Batman.
Batman gets a win for you.
What do you guys? Oh, MC's saying Iron Man. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of with MC on that one. I mean, I liked Batman, and I will admit that Marvel movies made me a bigger Iron Man fan, but I did like select Iron Man stories before
Boba as
they
well.
started. Iron Man, 3 votes for Iron Man so far. All right,
that's what we were talking about earlier, MC. If you were here,
I really want Didi's opinion: Iron Man or Batman?
I'm gonna guess Didi's gonna say Batman.
Why?
I don't know, but everyone's saying Iron Man, so I could be totally wrong.
Now, something that I think may play into this right now is that
Boba, I've kind of been a bit sick of him because what MC said, you see the pearls 10 times.
We got another Batman.
Batman was Didi's first. I don't know, he seems like there's just so many more stories.
Iron Man got another one in there. We're tied again. I feel like we should just let people vote over and over and over again, just infinitely until I just like, all right, we'll draw it. But it seems like we're getting a draw here.
As a kid.
Got another Iron Man there. Oh.
I am surprised.
Did something just go wrong?
Are we still alive? Oh, we might have just had a problem over here.
Oh.
I'm surprised how many...
we might need a refresh. I'm not sure. YouTube apparently is back up. Okay.
Boba, you're right. Like, I'm kind of lesser of two evils for me as well.
Okay, we just seem to have a little glitch there for a second.
I think our stream stuttered. Hopefully it's going to recover.
Yeah, we didn't seem to lose everybody this time. But it seems to be back up. We just seem to be unstable.
It says, Scotty says it died for him.
Yeah, I know. Back muted. Bro. I like this Streamlabs just doubles it up with the...
We're not... We shouldn't be still muted, though. All their stuff says it's live. Alright, there. Or...
YouTube works. Yeah, I know. Back muted. Okay.
They're all saying it's... We're dead. And muted.
Can we get it confirmed still muted?
Sorry, guys. They're saying we're still muted.
Weird. YouTube. I already did that. That's really weird because like we have volume on YouTube.
Let's see. I'm on Twitch here. Yeah, there's no audio coming through on Twitch. We're mimes. Something.
That's really weird because like we have volume on YouTube. I really have no idea what to do.
Yeah, there's no audio coming through. I guess we gotta end stream and click again. Like that should do it.
Oh, that doesn't. That's not what I want. Oh, I really don't want to add.
Okay, I gotta say, like, should we say we're gonna reboot? We're gonna end the stream and start again?
That's unfortunate. We don't have sound alerts. Oh, wait. I want to see if video works.
Yeah. Carpe the diem. Seize the carp.
No sound alert. Oh, it hasn't come up yet. Sorry, now we have to wait to see it come up.
I think it was frozen there.
Out on the third planet closest to the sun, there's a special celebration, and it sounds quite fun.
Okay,
A jolly old fella.
All right, let's hope we're back with sound. Oh, we can actually have our playback monitor going through there right now. All right, and what do you got going there?
I don't know, like, Are you listening to YouTube still?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch over. I just want to see if YouTube is back up. Oh, right, it won't do it that way. You have to go back in. So fuck YouTube. I don't know if we're...
I don't think we still have sound.
Like yours has no sound while we're talking right
Yeah.
now? Okay, so something's gone horribly wrong.
Something has gone horribly wrong.
And I don't know what to do with that. So...
I think, end the stream. Guys, I think we're still, it's still busted. Like, our microphone shows it's working.
So, yeah, everything works on this end. I don't know how this end. It doesn't matter. I mean, do we raid out? Do we just close the stream entirely?
I think we could say we're just going to end the stream, guys. Sorry.
Scotty put the YouTube link up because I think it's still working. So it's Twitch specifically.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Or, yeah. Yeah, well, thanks for checking us out on YouTube, guys. But
oh, yeah, so DD is over on YouTube as well. So what do we do? Do we end the stream or do we...
I mean, you do have to get up early in the morning, and we're having... This is a pretty bad problem.
That's true. That's really strange. I've never encountered anything like this.
Since you guys are over on YouTube, yeah, something clicked off, and when the stream disrupted and came back, the sound just didn't work for Twitch.
Yeah.
But it shows it's working on YouTube. So something disconnected with Twitch and didn't properly reconnect.
That seems to be the case. So I'm even... Yeah, there's absolutely nothing coming through Twitch, so I don't know what to do, but we have hit around the 3-hour mark. So, I mean, universally it's understood when we do this.
Yeah.
And then...
Guys, thanks for hanging out. It's too bad we didn't get to say goodbye to everyone else.
Yeah, well, we'll chat it out as well. But Bongo Time first. Hit that quickly. And I mean, we didn't really get a chance to do a dab, so we might as well double it up as we end. I really wish there was a way we could refresh something on this side. It's weird that we can't.
My guess is we have to restart OBS. Because it's the one that handles the microphone connection. It's it totally could be.
No. I want to... I think I figured out how to update the stream name without crashing the stream.
Oh, theater fans here. Damn it.
We lost sound. Oh, whoops. I just clipped. I'm just checking our options, but we don't really have much we can do on this side. Oh, I don't know why I clicked on anything. Alright, well. Let's do a quick dab and then we'll sign off. You can chat us away while I get them set up. But those that want to... our YouTube sound is working. See, aren't you glad I did YouTube tonight? Although you'll probably blame that.
It is.
Yeah, right. The times Twitch is slow is probably because it actually runs all through his iPad so that he can control all of Twitch. That's sad. That's unfortunate. We're sorry. Although I have heard recently a lot of Dreamona? Oh, I thought it was Dreamona.
There's no A.
Oh, okay. She tried to go live like 5 times in a row and it kept just crashing on her.
There's been a few times in the last month or two where all Twitch has a problem at once and each channel is like, oh yeah, we lost, we disconnected. Like, it's gotten more unstable than I've seen it in the past.
It's amazing that people are still here and watching. We could almost just type those as I'm getting these dabs ready if we wanted to finish this, but I don't know if that would work all the way.
It'd be more fun to do it when we're properly set up.
when Twitch isn't wrecking our night.
Thanks, guys, for letting chat know as well about the problems and watching us on YouTube. But we are just going to sign off quick soon because this is less than ideal. I wonder if Amaranth has these sorts of problems ever. Or if she just throws enough money at it that it all fixes itself.
I mean, I imagine she makes enough money on all of her stuff that she has
full-time
nothing but the best gear and probably a full-time line of Twitch's like head designer.
I don't have to run away.
No. Ooh. Oh, it's gonna keep playing that exact same clip, isn't it? I was trying to get my YouTube to work again, but it just won't. It's just stuck in its own little loop now, which is weird. But I was trying to get or just to check what it sounded like on there, but we are, now I can't even get my phone to work on YouTube. Zazie got a stiffy for Amaranth.
Amaranth is too plastic and fake. I don't like it.
Well, there you have it. I mean, I feel like we can still probably raid out at least if there's somebody on. And we appreciate everyone being here. Like, we should raid Amaranth at this point, but actually all that's on is Office Drummer that we would raid. And yeah, so I guess, do we just end tonight?
Yeah.
It's weird. It feels abrupt to have it taken from us. We had so much more to talk about. I had another video to play.
We'll get to that stuff. It's just...
I'm sorry, guys. We go from an average of 5 hours to cutting her under 3. But thank you for still being here, checking us out on YouTube. Follow on both, please. And I guess we'll see everybody Monday at 9. Because the poll was almost unanimous. So we'll announce it in Discord as well. But it looks like we'll be starting at 9 o'clock on Monday.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right. We'll see you 9 o'clock on Monday, guys.
Thanks again, everyone.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Morgo, Dee Dee, Scotty, Rusty, Beef Nips, theater fans. Sorry, guys. But yeah.